at the down in Pasadena. But we went and played, and her and I only played one game just so she could kind of get.
Is she athletic?
She is, but most of the stuff she does is like Pilates and stuff like that. So she's not out there sprinting left and right. I'm not either.
Did she play softball or tennis or anything?
She played a little bit of tennis.
Okay.
Yeah. She played soccer too. Okay. So there's your.
So she's got some. She's
got. So she's in the ball back and forth, and then she's like, "All right, I think I'm done."
I really hope this story ends with her kicking your ass in pickleball.
I beat her. And it wasn't because I beat her because I know what the hell I'm doing. It's because it's the first time she's ever played. I'm just sending the ball back and forth. But anyways, she's done. So now it's I don't think it's like this at your court where you put your paddles there, and if there's two, now there's two more open, whatever it is. So there was three. They're waiting for one. Bam, I put mine. Now I'm playing with three strangers. We lost 13-11.
This is terrific. I love this, that you have got the bug to the point where you're just throwing your paddle into the mix, playing with strangers. Are you getting better?
Getting better.
Good.
Yeah, I'm getting better. I still got a lot to learn. Scoring, forget about it. Done.
Really?
Easy. No, easy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was going to say, that really surprised
the problem on that,
fine.
no.
Yeah, once
scoring
you know
you're fine.
Did you stay out of the kitchen?
Stayed out of the kitchen for the most part. It's just kind of learning when to come up, when to go back. And pretty much the guy that I was playing with, older guy, obviously knew what he was doing. Pretty much he's like, go up to the net. You got to go up to the net. Go up to the kitchen. Go up right in front of that line of the kitchen.
Yep, that seems to be the trick.
So it's actually kind of helpful to play with people that have played, because I haven't done that. All I've played so far is with Jorge, DeAndre.
Who? I don't know that guy.
DeAndre, you and him don't have the best relationship right now.
Never heard of him.
But played another full game, and then today I'm going to play again, and then you and I are going to play on Monday. This is kind of getting ridiculous. This is a lot of pickleball.
Headbands, goggles, knee pads, I like the whole thing. You're going to be like Jim Carrey in The Cable Guy when he shows up to play pickup basketball. You're going to have the entire gear ready to go. I'm excited.
If it's the same people that were there yesterday, now I'm going to get it's going to get a little awkward.
You guys are going to trade numbers. Like, hey, you just want to make it a kind of a standing thing on Wednesdays at like 4 o'clock. We'll just I'll come out here and play a little bit.
I will tell you
I'll text you the time.
Bro, there's some ringers out there.
Of course there are.
There's some ringers out there. And the beauty with the sport is age really kind of doesn't matter.
I think you're right.
To an extent.
I think you're right.
But I could see young 25-year-olds getting ran by 55-year-olds. No question about it. I see that the entire time yesterday. The good thing is when we go play, because now that's the first time I played around that 2 o'clock-ish.
Yep.
We're good.
Good.
There's going to be no waiting, nothing.
I'm looking forward to playing. Michael's got a game today, so I'm going to have to miss it today. Michael had a game yesterday, did not go great. So hopefully today is a better result for the Dolphins. But we'll see. You never know. Hopefully today's their day.
How loud were you shouting from the?
Pretty quiet
from the benches. No,
I'm pretty quiet. Occasionally I will see something that makes me react, but it's in the moment. Like if I see a balk, or if I see like a really
awesome. Out of all of them, a balk.
Well, no, but it's one of those things that when you, as a baseball,
like a natural reaction,
as a baseball person, when you see it, your reaction is to yell, "That's a balk!" Right? Like it just is, because they're subtle, but if you know what you're looking at, it's very, very obvious. And there was one yesterday, and oddly, I yelled it out for our team. It's just my brain just kicked in, and I think I didn't yell it very loudly, but I went, "That's a balk." And it didn't get called, but it was. I felt pretty good about it. And then there's the egregious call where you'll go, "Oh, God!" And then Susan will give me a little elbow. It's like, will you be quiet?
Well, I love that because that's such a baseball person.
Yeah.
You're not complaining about, come on, that's right down the middle.
No.
You're not complaining about, are you kidding me? I saw the chalk come up. That's a fair ball.
Right.
This guy said, that's a balk.
It is. It bothered me. He was on the rubber, and he's standing there. His foot he's on the rubber. The runners have taken their lead.
Yeah.
And he's a right-handed pitcher, and he's got the ball in his hand, and he wanted the catcher to re-give the signal, and he turns around and he just looks at the catcher and goes like this with the ball. That's a balk. And then the umpire didn't know. It bothered me. It's like, come on,
man. Can I give you the equivalent? The equivalent is, one day when I got my kid playing some basketball, I'm going to yell, "That's illegal defense."
Yes.
That's what it's going to be. And 90% of the people there are going to be like, What do you mean it's illegal defense? Well, here's what it is. If you're 3 seconds and within arm's length, I just love that. I love that it was the balk.
There was a game when I drove to Elsinore. Same situation. There's a left-handed pitcher. I've never seen a worse balk ever in my life. Okay? He basically was doing jumping jacks on the mound. It was egregious. And I yelled out. I'm like, that's not even close. And one of the mothers on our team turned around and looked at me and she's like, I've never heard you say anything before. Like, what happened? Like, because she didn't know what it was. I'm like, I'm sorry. She goes, no, I just have never heard you say anything before. That was a new one for me. And I said it kind of loud.
Okay, so you've gone through Bobby,
yeah,
Kelly, and now Michael.
Mm-hmm.
All of them played sports.
Yeah.
And I could see your personality, you're not going to make too much noise. I can only imagine through all 3 of your kids, the type of parents from when you
get a little bit of everything. Susan yells at referees in volleyball.
What did she say?
She that's a double. That's a two. You can't do touch. She's under the net. She's yelling at him the whole time.
Do you have to give her the...
There's one where I don't give her the elbow. I just very quietly put my hand on her knee and kind of like squeeze it a little bit, like you're being kind of loud, right? There's one where
she's like, don't touch me.
The ref, Kelly's a setter. They called Kelly for a double, right? Mm-hmm. So, where the ball hits your hand twice, and Susan did not like it. And it was during COVID, so there were only a handful of people in the gym.
And you hear everything.
And you hear everything. And she goes, what? No! And Kelly turns to look, and she sees my hand go to Susan's leg to like kind of give her a little squeeze, and Kelly starts laughing on the court. Like, Mom, take it easy. And she thought it was funny that I was trying to chill her out
that whole
bit.
Parents thing.
It's awesome.
And I don't know enough about it, right? But the whole parents watching their kids play. I mean, I imagine through all your kids, you've seen some crazy parents that hallucinate.
Basketball parents are the worst. They're the most vocal. They're traveling foul. What are you doing? You're that whole thing. Baseball parents are probably a close second. Then everything else, like track. What are you going to yell? You shaved a tenth of a second off of his time. There's nothing to yell in track.
Nothing to yell.
Soccer, it's just soccer.
I did swimming, and there's not really a lot of debate
right.
there.
You either you touch the wall when you touch the wall.
Yeah.
Your time
there's
is
only
your time.
DQs because you can get disqualified for certain things, and that's where parents can get mad about stuff. But it's a lot of parents that so at swimming, there's parents will whistle super loud every time their swimmer brings their head up so they hear it. That's the most annoying part.
It's like the Vandy Whistler, college baseball.
Just love that's a balk.
I like you screaming at the referee during our pickleball tournament, which is coming up on March 18th, a week from Saturday, 10 to 4, Agape Pickleball Center at Mile Square Park in Fountain Valley. Reserved seating is available. You can register for that at espnla.com. The event is open to the general public. Come on out. Hang out with us. You can have a drink. We can talk about whatever it is we want to talk about. Get to know each other a little bit. It'll be awesome. Thanks to Bud Light Bud Light Seltzer, Michelob Ultra, and Pizza Hut. Of course, we'll have all the TVs to watch the games. There's food, there's drink, there's a DJ, there's a kid zone. You'll have a great time. Come on out, hang out with us. March 18th, 10 to 4 at Mile Square Park in Fountain Valley.
Getting 3 runs in over the course of 1 week.
Here's the thing.
I went yesterday, I'm going today, and then you and I are going to go again on Monday. And that's not counting if I get an itch on Saturday when the Lakers don't have a game and decide to jog over to the courts.
Run on out there? So here's the thing. When we played softball, you and I were on opposite teams, but I knew I was going to hold my own in softball. I didn't think I would hit much, but I can play catch. I can field a ground ball. I wasn't going to embarrass myself in softball. I was going to be fine. You're going to have to do the heavy lifting with pickleball. I am really limited in what I'm going to bring to Team Thick Van Exel. So Thick Van Exel is going to be a one-man show.
So just so you understand, it's basically like... yesterday was the second time I've ever played, and what you just said about me having to carry the team, I love that the second time I've ever played. It's like, you're good now.
But you, I think, are going to be able to cover more court. You're going to be quicker. You're going to be all of those things. Yeah, you're going to have to do the lion's share of the work. I don't want there to be any surprises when we get there and you're like, Trav, you're not doing anything. I'm telling you right now, I'm not doing anything. Okay? If it's hit to me, I will hit it back. Beyond that, you're kind of on your own. That's where I check out.
Fair.
Okay? You're younger than I am. You're in better shape than I am. You've played about the same amount of pickleball as I have.
Getting
right
close.
Now. It's getting close. So I have high expectations for you along the way. I got a theory, Slee.
Okay.
That do we agree that the universe, when good breaks and bad breaks, they kind of even out over the course of time, that you're going to get as many good ones as bad ones?
Yes.
Okay.
It might look like it's, oh my gosh, the rain is pouring right now, and then another day you walk outside, it's beautiful and sunny.
You're going to get a lot of good ones. You're
Yep.
going to get a lot of bad ones, and the Lakers might finally be on the right side of some of this stuff. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
That was hamstring camp. We were getting schooled by George Sedano, the most athletic guy at the station. You're really scared of DeMarco and... Come on.
Those two guys are going to run into each other.
DeMarco?
Court ain't big enough for them two boys.
Kirk?
Seriously, big boys. Soul brother. Too big. They're too big.
Everybody, it's Cap. Listen, I want you to mark your calendars for March 16th. It's Thursday. It's the tip of the tournament, and we're all going to be at Yamava. Okay, so it's going to be Travis and Slee from 10 to 1. Mason's not going to be on vacation. Mason in Ireland, 1 to 4. Me and Shidano coming up from 4 to 7. There's all these amazing craft beers, incredible restaurants, 150 LED screen TVs. It's the 909, the greatest sports bar on the planet at Yamava. Thursday, March 16th. All day long. Mark your calendars. Be there. I'll see you at Yamava.
That begins 9 hours of LA sports talk all day long. Each weekday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
So you got me all fired up again. We were talking about it during the break.
It's awesome. That's great.
Can't do that. I'd like to point
You
out
stood
again.
up.
It was again Michael's
You said, look,
team
there's a guy on second and
committed
third.
the infraction.
And you became the pitcher. You
Yes.
did the whole thing.
First and second, not second and third.
I had two runners in scoring position.
And I didn't yell it out fully. It was like I choked it off halfway down because I realized it was Michael's team. I went, "Buck!" It's just, and I turned to Susan. I'm like, it was a buck. How did they miss that? Like, does that guy not know the rules? Here's my objection, and then I'm gonna move on. You've aggravated me without trying to do it. You've done. I don't like officials, referees, umpires, whatever, linesmen, who don't know the rules. I'm okay with making a mistake. You call a pitch that's off the plate of ball, it's going to happen a bunch. It's fine.
Yeah.
You call a guy safe that's actually out, it's going to happen. A ball that's fair, that's foul, it's going to happen. You got to know the blanking rules. You can't, like in basketball, if a guy just, basket get made, guy takes it out of bounds. If he just starts dribbling the ball up the court, you can't do that. You have to inbound the ball to the other guy on your team. And if it happens, you just go, You got to know the rules. And that's box, and it bothers me, and it's never going to not bother me.
Do you know where this just got me in Big Lebowski, where Walter says, "This isn't Nom, there are rules. This is bowling, there are rules."
There are rules, right? Imagine if when you're
You're
bowling,
over the line.
you go over the line, and everybody just goes, There's a rule. You got to follow the rules. That's
Walter,
the way
let it go.
That it goes. I probably should. I just can't.
No, don't let it go.
I'm fully aware that it's ridiculous. I know that this is a ridiculous reaction to something that, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't matter.
You say this. You know how you say something. You're like, that's perfectly on brand.
Yes,
that is perfectly on brand. That is perfectly on brand right there.
I like people to know the rules, or don't be an umpire. Right? Like, I understand you're getting your $75 a game or whatever it is. I understand that there's a financial incentive. Can we just flip through that book before you walk out there and put on the mask?
You even you even said, no, it's just if a guy's inbounding the ball, you can't just walk on the floor. You can't do that.
Would that, if you were watching that, you saw, you'd be like, well, they can't do that.
Yeah, of course I would.
Yeah.
But that one's more blatant. Yours is...
No, it's not. It's exactly the same thing. That is as blatant.
Yeah, but what I'm saying...
If you know the rules,
what I'm saying,
it's just as blatant.
It's a little bit more inside baseball than somebody just walking right on. That's great. I mean, your reaction to that.
Why not just give them 4 points for a free throw? Let's just make it up as we go along.
I see we got to that. You kept saying that parents get angry.
Yeah, they do. They get a little worked up. Kevin Durant turned his ankle yesterday during pregame. Just kind of doing an individual workout, and there is a video out there. And he went up for like a layup or a short shot and landed weird and twisted his ankle. The Suns fear it may be severe enough to keep him out for the remainder of the regular season, that it may keep him out for the early part of the playoffs. It sucks that one of the best players in the league is going to miss time. But look, the effects of that are the very best player in the Western Conference, arguably, is now going to be unavailable for a team that was probably maybe not the favorite as far as number one seed. I don't think anybody was dying to play the Phoenix Suns with Kevin Durant, and now they might not have to. The Lakers have had nothing but bad luck, seemingly, on the health front for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Bad luck personnel, bad luck with injuries. Now, Luka has a thigh thing that he says is something. KD twists his ankle yesterday during the warm-ups. You'd like everybody to be healthy, but if they're not, these particular injuries could be incredibly beneficial to the Lakers.
So let me just kind of explain the Western Conference. Before KD got traded to the Phoenix Suns, there was a lot of excitement in the West because you're like, I don't know who's going to come out. You got 6-7 teams that could come out of the Western Conference. Then KD got traded to Phoenix, and it was like, all right, well, looks like everything's going to go through the Phoenix Suns. So I don't think you're being dramatic when you say that this KD, which I did not realize it was that bad. I saw it yesterday, too. Didn't end up playing in the game. He actually even dunked after, maybe trying to convince himself that he was okay, that he was fine. I guess it's just going to come down to if it's a grade 2 ankle sprain.
Yep.
This is Greg Moore of the Arizona Republic.
4 to 6 weeks if it is diagnosed as a grade 2, according to that particular reporter. And you got to be extra cautious because I think, did we mention this yesterday? Kevin Durant is really oddly unique in the sense that he can just show up after extended absences and look like he played the day before.
Yeah, you mentioned that yesterday.
Right? That he's oddly just, is he back? Yeah, okay. It just looks like he's been here
There's
forever.
31.
and not
with
only...
with different teammates.
That's exactly it. It's not just the 31. It's, I've never played with you before, but it seems like we've been playing together for 5 years. Like, he's incredibly malleable. He he fits in right away, and he's awesome. So if you're the Suns... Wouldn't you be? Because look, if I'm Phoenix, if I'm the 2, I don't care. If I'm the 7, I don't care. I just need to be. And they're not going to fall out of the top 6 because you still have Booker, you still have Paul, you still have Aiden.
They should be able to hold you in the top 6
for sure. So they're not going to fall out to where, hey, one bad night and we're knocked out. Aren't you going to be remarkably cautious with him? And now all of a sudden the Lakers and not just the Lakers, but the rest of the West feels like what felt inevitable that you're going to have to go through the Suns at some point feels far more manageable because Denver for the Lakers. LeBron James comes back against the Denver Nuggets in a 7-game series. Are they the favorites? No. Can they win? Yeah. They can. So if the Suns are out, if somebody gets them, if KD's unavailable, whether it's the Lakers or anybody else, the whole thing opens up like a clam at that point.
It's not KD with the Golden State Warriors. It's not that where it was like, okay, this is just a matter of time. They're going to win the NBA championship. But if you said pick one team out of the Western Conference and KD is there, I think a lot of teams are going to pick Phoenix. So I think the point that you're trying to make is ultimately what this does is before KD got traded to the Suns, it was a wide open field. it's back to a wide open field until he comes back. And even when he comes back, how many games has he played with the Suns?
Feels like
4
3 or
games?
4, yeah.
That was going to be his home opener. That was the first game that they were going to play where he was actually on the floor. He's been there for other games, but he wasn't playing yet. He was still coming back from his injury. It's fascinating. Listen, I think, are there question marks? Sacramento Kings haven't made the playoffs since 2006, so none of these guys have this great experience. You could say, oh, well, Mike
Just
Brown,
Harrison Barnes, right?
Harrison Barnes,
And
you could say
that's
that.
Harrison Barnes.
And how long ago was that?
Right.
That was...
And he wasn't carrying the load like Steph Curry or LeBron James.
Okay, so Sacramento doesn't have the experience.
Right.
The Memphis Grizzlies are a little bit all over the place.
You think?
Okay, so let's...
By the way, you see they say Ja's going to miss at least 4 more games?
So at least 4 more, but I think it's going to go to where...
It might. It might.
I have a feeling that there won't be enough evidence, and maybe it is just kind of left alone. Memphis, I don't think anybody... We don't know what the Memphis Grizzlies are. Kind of go down the list. Golden State's been incredibly inconsistent. The Clippers, incredibly inconsistent. The Timberwolves, Karl Anthony Towns has to be there. Dallas, you mentioned Luka, and since that Luka-Kyrie trade, I don't know what they're going to get every single night, right? New Orleans, are they going to get Zion back? How many question marks does every team have? By the way, Lakers are the same thing. Is Bron coming back? Is he not coming back? There's the Lakers, you could at least make a case. Go look at their last 10.
Yeah.
They're at least playing some good basketball right now.
The Lakers have questions, no doubt about it. But their questions seem more answerable than some of these other teams that, to your point, they've won 7 of their last 10 games. I'm kidding. Anthony Davis.
Everybody hit.
Yeah,
everybody.
Anthony
if
Davis
you're
has
driving right now, hit
your dashboard.
Yes.
Anthony Davis has been terrific. Not good, not great, terrific.
Terrific,
right?
yeah.
And hopefully he continues to be. Their supporting cast is capable, which is, I think, what everybody's supporting cast is, right? Is capable. That's what you want.
They were not capable.
No, they weren't.
Before the trade deadline.
They weren't.
They are now capable.
They are now. D'Angelo Russell, when he comes back, hopefully sooner than later, is a good NBA player. Not a great one. He's a good NBA player, right? He'll knock down some threes. He can get hot. He can carry you for a quarter or whatever it is.
He's not a star. He's also not a role player. He's in between.
They're the answers to everybody's questions. The Lakers, and again, 90% of this is predicated on LeBron coming back and being ready to go. But we were talking about, look, if they can stay in it, maybe he can kind of muscle through it. Well, he needs to probably start thinking about muscling through it, right? Because they're going to be in it, and not just in it. Denver Nuggets are the number 1 seed. Is anybody just saying, just put them in the finals? No.
No, nobody is.
Nobody is.
Good team, but nobody's saying what you just said.
But it's not like, when you look at the East is going to be Boston, Philly, or Milwaukee, right? It's going to be one of those 3 teams, and probably Boston or Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's your Eastern Conference Finals.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. I don't know what the West is going to look like. You could, of the 8-9 teams in the mix, Nuggets are probably the most likely, but they're not an automatic. The Suns with Kevin Durant, close to an automatic. The rest of it, it's wide open.
So that's the, you mentioned something about Bron might need to be preparing to come back. Remember, what was it last week? They said they're going to reevaluate him in 3 weeks. Let's put it this way. If Bron's not able to come back in the regular season, and let's say the Lakers are in the hunt, and he's not able to come back in the regular season, that means Bron literally has an injury that he's
hurt.
The guy plays through a lot of you-know-what.
Yep.
Okay, so, but if he's able to come back, and let's say he's 80% of LeBron James, that's a problem for a lot of teams. Now all of a sudden an 80% LeBron James going into the play-in tournament, Anthony Davis kind of being the foundation, you could call everything kind of run through. They haven't had D'Angelo got traded to the Lakers. He's played in I think 3 games so far, so he hasn't even been there, and they still have kind of found a way to beat the Warriors. By the way, 3 times in the course of 3 weeks they beat the Warriors. I know Steph wasn't there for 2. They beat a lot of teams that were in front of them, hanging around them. That's impressive.
I believe in the gods. I believe that every sport has their set of gods. There's pickleball gods, by the way.
Do you know why I know you believe in the gods? Because you still believe in them, even after the Astros won again.
I believe in them, and sometimes they're vengeful, and every once in a while, they're magnanimous. I do believe that they like to keep an even ledger. I do believe that they're going to give you a few, and they're going to take away the exact same amount. Okay? Now, you got to look at it over the long haul. The Lakers have had some really bad luck. And I'm not even doing a bit here. I really believe that they're due for some good luck.
Mm-hmm.
They've been. Anthony Davis has had health issues. LeBron has had health issues. The Russell Westbrook thing doesn't work. Like there's a lot of things.
It doesn't usually just keep going bad.
It just you don't make 50 mistakes in a row. Some of them are going to work out, and it feels like it's time for some of this stuff to work out. The trade deadline kind of worked out.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis kind of working out. LeBron James scheduled to come back at some point towards the end of the season. That's a good break. Some of the other top contenders losing some of their most important, like the breaks are starting to even out a little bit, and they don't need a ton of breaks to be right back in the mix. They just need a couple, and they're getting them.
Well, and if Bron were in a perfect world, Bron feels good in a couple weeks. Okay? Even if it's 3 weeks from today, and there's only 1 week left in the NBA regular season, hypothetically, and he feels good and he comes back, Bron will have had a month off to just kind of get his body right for the best part, right? Like when's the last time that's happened to Bron?
The bubble
in his career. Yeah, the bubble. The bubble.
He was pretty good in the bubble.
Yep.
He was hit.
That's the last time it happened.
That's
the last time it happened.
Worked out. Maybe this would be what would be ideal.
He's carried so much during the regular season that the fact that he could potentially have this, I mean, it's not ideal. I'm sure he wishes he was out there, but just for his body to recuperate for a second.
Adam Silver and people that hate this will want to put their head through the desk. Fact of the matter is, the ideal scenario, not for the league, not for TV, not for companies like TNT and ESPN, the ideal scenario is for the Lakers to be good enough to shut LeBron James and Anthony Davis down for a period of time. So when it comes playoff time, you smash the gas that you're ready to go. Now, the Lakers don't have the luxury right that because they got off to the bad start that they did. But I'm telling you, if you believe in the gods and you believe in, for every line drive you hit at the shortstop, you get a little bleeder over the second baseman's head. They're due for a couple of bleeders over the second baseman's head, and it's starting to happen. It's exciting.
Let's all do a quick Our Father.
My guys don't respond to that. Mine was just ignore them and hope that they give you a few along the way. Some interesting Rams news that just got tweeted about. I've heard whispers, little rumblings, and now it's starting to bumble up a little bit. It's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
Everybody, it's Cap. Listen, I want you to mark your calendars for March 16th. It's Thursday. It's the tip of the tournament, and we're all going to be at Yamava. Okay, so it's going to be Travis and Slee from 10 to 1. Mason's not going to be on vacation. Mason and Ireland 1 to 4. Me and Shidano coming up from 4 to 7. There's all these amazing craft beers, incredible restaurants, 150 LED screen TVs. It's the 909, the greatest sports bar on the planet at Yamava. Thursday, March 16th, all day long. Mark your calendars. Be there. I'll see you at Yamava.
unfortunately, I will not be here tomorrow to.
You're going
be
to
with you
Catalina,
guys.
right?
I'm going to Catalina tomorrow. Fortunately,
See your Buffalo?
Can't
see my
wait.
Buffalo.
We're gonna have a great time out there.
It's supposed
You
to
and Taylor
rain.
hold it down.
You're going to Catalina too?
Yeah, I haven't told
best
her,
friends.
but
You're actually staying in the hotel with us too, right? Yeah.
grabbing the couch. Probably not a couch in the hotel.
Why not?
Yeah, but it's supposed to rain tomorrow, which sucks too. But
Ooh.
but since I won't be here tomorrow, I want to kind of do my little Oscar spiel throughout the show today. So the Oscars are on Sunday. They're going to start at 5 p.m. on the Pacific time on ABC. So if you're watching it, you can watch there. But I think it might be funny if we all give our predictions for who might win these big categories. And I know you guys are super big cinephiles. You've seen everything on the list. You know everybody back and forward. So we're going to start with the Best Supporting Actress nominees.
Wow, that's easy.
So they are Angela Bassett for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Stephanie Hsu also for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Hung Chow for The Whale. So I'm going to start with Taylor. Who do you think is going to win this category?
Oh, this is easy. Stephanie Hsu. Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Good choice. All right, Trav.
I don't know, you guys probably, I was barely alive when this happened, but Steve Garvey was nominated to become the starting first baseman for the National League at the All-Star Game in 1974, despite not appearing on the ballot. Wasn't on the ballot. It's literally a literal write-in campaign.
So you going Steve Garvey on this one?
I am going Jennifer Connelly to win Best Supporting Actor or Actress, I should say, for her role in Top Gun Maverick.
So you're writing that one in?
Right. I'm
like
assuming everybody is.
I thought you were going to say like Jenna Fisher for something.
Was she in anything? If she is, I'd like to reconsider my vote.
I don't think
but
so.
if she's not, I stick with Jennifer
All
Connelly.
right, Al?
So just so we both don't take the same person, because I was also Stephanie as well, Taylor, on this one.
Go for it.
But you're same as
Copy
No,
me.
I'm going to go Jamie Lee Curtis in. I'm going to go Jamie Lee Curtis on that one.
Okay.
Of course, Everything Everywhere All at Once. By the way, badass movie. I mean, I know...
You've seen it?
Yeah, remember, I think I told you this a while back.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Fantastic movie. And I'm not kidding when I say that. It's a really, really good movie.
Best
I don't
movie I've
think
seen in
either
years.
of them will watch it, but I'll go with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, so Everything Everywhere All at Once, I've seen it 6 times. I have seen that movie 6 times. I'll watch it with anybody who wants to watch it. I love that movie so much, and it's, it's how I choose
There's a
to spend my
special
time,
screening
guys.
in Catalina. That's why she's going to.
Don't worry, my friend who I'm going there with, I made her watch it, so it's fine.
Wait, real quick, before we move on. How do you make somebody watch something?
Okay, so I asked her
Threaten
what movie she
Clockwork
wanted.
Orange, man.
I asked her what movie she wanted to watch, and she said, I haven't seen XYZ movies. And I was like, why don't we watch Everything All at Once? Because you haven't seen it yet, and then we watched it. So I guess I didn't make her watch it.
You suggested it.
She would
Good
like to
movie.
watch it.
I could watch it for a second time
Yeah.
because there's a lot
It's
going
really,
on.
It's really dense.
Yeah, but not 3, 4, 5, and 6. And she's not done. You don't think she's going to get a couple more in her by the time this year is over?
I think that's fair.
Yeah. So, no matter how much I love that movie, I do think... So, also, I was Jamie Lee Curtis for Halloween. That character in Everything I Wrote Once for Halloween. But I think that her and Stephanie Hsu will split the vote because they're in the same movie. And I think that Banshees of Inisherin is a movie that everyone loves. Like, all the critics love. And it probably won't win anywhere else. So my guess is that Carrie Condon from Banshees of Inisherin is going to win Best Supporting Actress. And it's going to be a big upset because Angela Bassett has been winning at all the circuits. And it's kind of like, it would be more of a career move for her. So anyway, that's my prediction.
Taylor, you didn't break it down like that. Broke it down a little bit deeper.
How did you expect?
I haven't seen any of these movies.
But I'll sprinkle in some more throughout the show.
I literally have seen not a single one of the Best Picture nominees I've seen.
You saw Top Gun,
Top
right?
Gun.
Top
Yeah,
Gun.
Top Gun.
Top Gun is the one. The rest of them, like, if you would have gone
And
down the list.
Lethal Weapon, too.
I'm trying to. I knew of Elvis's existence. I knew of the Fabelmans' existence. The rest of and the blue guys in the ocean movie.
Avatar 2: The Way of Water?
That one. I knew those existed, so I would have gotten like, is this a real movie or not? If you would have said to me, Trev, Triangle of Sadness, real or no?
That would have been a good.
No, I have no idea.
That's
apparently
actually
that's
not a
real
bad game right there.
That's I just
We
blew
just
it.
make this up.
Because now,
Now you see
I-
'em.
one of my favorite things ever. This was when the Milwaukee Bucks were not a particularly good team, and I remember I wasn't even working at the station here, but I remember listening to Mason in Ireland, and John did a game that was buck or duck. Is this player on the Milwaukee Bucks or the Anaheim Ducks?
Ooh,
and
that's
it was
good.
great.
That's
it
good.
It was great. And it was, you hear these names like, I have no idea. And so you can't take something like the super Eastern.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you kind of can because there's Eastern Europeans in the NBA too. But it was, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
Ilgauskas.
It could go either way, right?
Go
right?
But this will probably be like the March Madness thing where I know way too much about this and I'm going to get them all wrong.
Overanalyze, right? ESPN LA, don't forget, speaking of the college basketball tournament, ESPN LA is taking over Yamava Resort and Casino's latest amenity, the 909 Sports Bar, for a tournament tip-off watch party, broadcasting live starting at 10 a.m. That's us, Slee, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. You and me, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Cap, March 16th. So come on out to the Yamava Resort and Casino. We got wall-to-wall LEDs, 150-plus screens, 32 craft beers. It's the perfect place to watch all the college basketball action. Plus, we'll be giving away prizes, autographed memorabilia. Must be 21. Please gamble responsibly.
Fun day.
Should be good.
It's going to be a
we
fun
haven't
day.
done a remote in a long time.
We haven't done a
either.
remote in a while, and we talked a little bit about this yesterday. It's not too often where we're doing our show, and there's a packed live sports going on. That will actually happen an hour before we even come on, so it's going to be great.
All right, so earlier today, Michael Lombardi, who is an NFL insider, shall we say?
Yeah, former GM.
Was on with Pat McAfee and had this to say about Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams.
Oh, Matt Stafford's fully available. For Matt Stafford, they would love to trade. They can't do it because he's got $57 million guaranteed.
Hold on, though.
There's a lot of
Do we know he's playing? Do we know he's playing? We're 100% sure he's playing.
Well, he says he is playing, but but Pat, his contract, he's got 26 million of an option bonus on the third day of the league year, and he's got 31 million in paragraph 5 on the third day of the league year. All of that is guaranteed.
Okay, so let's simplify. The Rams, according to Michael Lombardi, would like to move on from Matthew Stafford, but it's very difficult to do because he's very expensive, right? I think this is maybe the linchpin of what we're talking about when it comes to the Rams, because what is as simple as this. I talked about this on my pod, Slee. What do the Rams want to do this year? Do they want to just basically kind of, hey, listen, we had some really bad luck talking about, the breaks kind of even out. We're due to get some good ones coming back, and we'll draft accordingly. We'll maybe make some trades in free agency, but we're just going to try to be very competitive in 2023. Or if the right opportunity presents itself to move on from a big-name player, maybe it's Matthew Stafford, maybe it's Aaron Donald, maybe it's Cooper Kupp, who knows, right? Just big-name player.
Jalen Ramsey we talked about.
Well, Bobby Wagner's already gone. It seems like Leonard Floyd is a virtual certainty to leave via cut or trade or whatever. What do they want to do? There seems to be a lot more smoke coming from that building about them wanting to kind of look to the future as opposed to try to be very good in 2023.
So I think if you'd have asked me a month ago, it sounded like things were aligning towards, all right, they're just going to kind of retool this thing. Mm-hmm. That there was enough stuff that went wrong last season that was out of their hands that, okay, you're really not going to have that bad of a season again where you have this many offensive linemen go down. Stafford obviously is injured. Cooper Kupp goes down. The schedule is as difficult as it was. Are you really going to have that many things go against you? I thought the moment Sean McVay decided, hey, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Does Sean McVay, I think automatically saying, Sean McVay's not going to go into a rebuilding, right? Like, I'm assuming they're coming off, they won a Super Bowl, he's been to a Super Bowl, he's had so much success. Is he coming back with all the question marks that he had for a rebuild? So initially I would tell you, no, I don't think they are. How do you now not think that they're open to, I think what you just said, if things work out for us to go left, we'll go left. But if things also work out for us to go right, we're okay with going right. I guess I now would not be shocked or surprised at all that they kind of not punt on the 2023 season, but use the 2023 season to really prepare for 2024.
I think so. And I'm glad you brought up McVay because I agree with you. When Sean McVay, at the end of the season, when all the rumors started coming up about, hey, is he leaving? Is he going to go take a hiatus? Is he going to go to TV? Is he just, is he burned out, right? And it seemed very, very real. I think we were all kind of on the same page. He was far more likely to leave than come back. Well, it turns out he came back. I think there is a difference here. I think there's a big difference between going into a season having really high expectations and being terrible. That's what happened to the Rams last year. The Rams were supposed to be good. The Rams were the defending Super Bowl champion, and it seemed very unlikely that they would have a bad team. They did. That's a
worst record post Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's a weight that weighs on you. Like what happened? Why is that's different than going into a season thinking, look, this may be a rough year. We're in a transition year. We're looking to 2024 and going into it knowing that, hey, we might win 5 or 6 games is different than thinking you're going to win 12 and you win 5. It's just a different weight on your shoulders going into that. And if he's made that adjustment in his mind, I don't know if a rebuild / look to the future isn't a more palatable thing for a year or two, knowing that it's coming. And it does feel like that's what's happened, because I've heard little whispers and little rumbles from the people that I talk to in this universe that's like, look, everybody is available. And I would say, well, what about this guy? Yeah, what part of everybody don't you understand? Everybody. And it's like, nah. And then all of a sudden you start to hear all these little things, and it does feel like they're right on the tipping point of, look, if everything breaks exactly perfectly, we'll give it a shot. But the second we think that this is the better option to look to the future, we're going to do it. And moving from Matthew Stafford would certainly mean we're going in that direction.
Yeah, it seems like there's a new name every week. It seems like there's a new, instead of, the Rams being aggressive about going to get guys, it's more the current players that they have. What can we get for them? Right?
They're the exact opposite of what they used to be.
And by the way, it's
okay.
Maybe this also just comes with the reality of the situation. We go back to this and we say it. They cashed in on one. They won a freaking Super Bowl
2 years ago.
Okay, so whatever you do moving forward, no one can really complain about. What they could do is say to themselves, all right, well, we got that Super Bowl. We thought we were going to come back and compete, and there was the cold water was poured right over our head. It's like, you don't have the depth, this and this. You're one player away from all of a sudden things kind of churning.
Winning 5 games.
So now they're looking to say, all right, maybe we got to work on that foundation again. We got to reset that concrete and then go from there.
What do you want, Rams fans? Do you want to, hey, let's try to run it back and hope that we have better luck? Or, hey, let's look to the future. 877-710 ESPN. Hey, did you see with Taylor coming up next? It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Everybody, it's Cap. Listen, I want you to mark your calendars for March 16th. It's Thursday. It's the tip of the tournament, and we're all going to be at Yamava. Okay, so it's going to be Travis and Slee from 10 to 1. Mason's not going to be on vacation. Mason in Ireland, 1 to 4. Me and Shidano coming up from 4 to 7. There's all these amazing craft beers, incredible restaurants, 150 LED screen TVs. It's the 909, the greatest sports bar on the planet at Yamava. Thursday, March 16th, all day long. Mark your calendars. Be there. I'll see you at Yamava.
We were getting schooled by George Sedano, the most athletic guy at the station. You're really scared of DeMarco and... Come on.
Those two guys are going to run into each other.
DeMarco?
Court ain't big enough for them two boys.
Kirk?
Seriously, big boys. Soul brother. Too big. They're too big.
Travis and Sliwa, and it's time for the segment we do around this time, 10:40 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Hey, did you see that sky today?
Did you guys see that?
Basically, the days we don't do Ask Slee, we do this thing. It's called Hey, Did You See?
Did you see that? I saw it. I did it.
Did you see the memo about this?
I mean, I'm excited. You can tell by my read. Hey, did you see?
Did you happen to see?
It's time for Hey, Did You See?
Hey, man, did you touch my drum set?
Have you read this?
Right now on Travis and Sliwa.
Carlo had a night at the South Bay Lakers last night that I want to talk about in a little bit. That's pretty cool. He should have made it, but
we'll got the opportunity.
We'll bring Carlo in just a little bit. What do you got for us today, Taylor?
All right, guys. Did you see that students with higher levels of school spirit perform better academically, are more civically engaged, and are happier in general than their less spirited peers? So, Travis, why is your college the best school in Southern California?
Have you ever been to the campus?
I haven't, no.
So that's the answer. It is literally the campus for my alma mater, UC Santa Barbara, is on the ocean. There's not like, oh, it's close to the beach. It's on the beach. You walk out of my dorm room and you had your toes in the sand in 5 minutes.
Jeez.
Okay, it is sitting right there. It's in Santa Barbara. So that's a pretty tough putt to beat. Anyway, it's highly academic. Your academic standards are very high, so you have to compete with other very bright and ambitious young people. There's all these things. Now, when it comes to our athletics, we have teams. We have a basketball team. We have a soccer team.
Their jerseys. They have their own colors.
Our baseball team is pretty good this year.
Yeah.
Swept the Oregon Ducks. Beat Pepperdine the other night. Athletics not super popular at Santa Barbara, but the location and
solid
the
nickname too
are a great. You know how many Division I teams there are called the Gauchos?
I'm going to guess one.
I like that.
All right, San Diego State. Here's the pitch. San Diego, California, pretty cool place. Not a bad spot. Kind of central to SD as well. So you're like 15 minutes from downtown, 15 minutes from Pacific Beach, 15 minutes from the ocean. San Diego State's a really fun school. You have more students than you possibly need. The basketball...
it's much bigger than I think people realize.
Huge. I think they have at some point there was 80 or 90,000 applicants, and they took 8,000.
Ooh, 10%.
So it is, and they're much smarter than they were when I was there.
There's some good-looking people that go there?
San Diego is a really nice place.
I mean, Alan Sliwa.
Let's keep it that way.
You'll notice I left that off my list.
just saying.
Okay, on top of all that, basketball program is pretty good, and it's on campus.
Yeah.
So you can kind of enjoy that. You said it. You said it on Saturday. New football stadium needs a little work. The program needs to do a little bit better on that department. Maybe a little shade every once in a while.
It's in San Diego, and you play in September.
And probably
somewhere to get out of the sun.
The best in the final pitch. There's 48 taco shops within 1 mile of campus.
Yeah. It's tough to decide between those two.
Yeah.
Can I add one thing I forgot to mention?
Let's go.
The little town directly north of campus, Isla Vista, is like 85% students, and it's its own little environment where lots of fun stuff happens, and very little things come out, very little things go out, and it's if you're anything like me, it's what you're looking for as a 19, 20-year-old.
Let's put it this way. I don't think anybody that went to Santa Barbara or San Diego State was complaining.
No, I think you're right.
Okay, guys, next up, did you see the average driver travels more than 14,000 miles per year and has just a 1% chance of getting pulled over? So, Sliwa, when's the last time that you got pulled over, and have you ever gotten out of a ticket?
I got pulled over 6 months ago.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Speeding?
Yeah. Yep, I deserved it.
Did he write you up?
He wrote me up. And it's kind of funny. I'm
freeway, surface streets?
Freeway, driving down to San Diego, was kind of in a hurry for something. I don't know what the hell I'm in a hurry for, but...
how fast?
Was it after the tire thing?
He clocked me 80.
Really?
80. Yeah. I was going faster, but he wrote down 80. So I got to go to traffic school for it. I got to do it by the time May.
Traffic school?
May
do that online or what?
Yeah, do it online.
It's not so bad.
Because 80 is the threshold for reckless, right?
He put me at 80. I was going fast. I was probably going 85, but he put me at 80.
You might have been doing your
Were you
favor.
in Lady Slee's car?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. In Lady Slee's car.
That car goes 85. It feels like it's going 30.
Yeah. No idea. But here's the funny thing. When I got pulled over, I don't know how you guys are on that. I guess as I get older, I'm much less to try to maybe negotiate something. I had registration, I had my license. I'm like, my bad, man. And he went behind the car, did his thing, everything else. Have I got added tickets? I have. When I used to work at Kennedy Recreation Center, right, from 16 to 20 years old, I was working for the city. It was the city of El Cajon. The shirt we wore was the city of El Cajon shirt. So instantly they ask, where do you work? I work at this Kennedy Recreation Center, this, that. Okay, slow down. Make sure you stop at this stop sign where the case is. And a couple times that happened, they let me go. Hasn't happened recently.
Should keep that shirt on.
Yeah.
I know. Still have a Kennedy shirt on walking in.
I have never gotten out of a ticket. It's been a long time since I've gotten stopped, knocking on wood right now. This may even have been the last time. I was maybe 24 or 5. I was driving from L.A. to Phoenix with my mom. We were driving. I forget why we were headed out that way, but my mom and I were making the drive from L.A. to Phoenix, and we're in the middle of nowhere, like that stretch of desert between Blythe, California, and Quartzsite, Arizona.
Nothing.
There's nothing there, right? It's like a 30-mile gap. There's nothing there. I'm driving along, and I see an Arizona state trooper, I think is what they're called there, up ahead of me. And so I don't know how fast I was going, 75, 80, something like that. But I can see him in the distance. I see the lights on the car. I'm like, okay, I'm not just going to blow by the guy at 80. So I start slowing down, and he starts slowing down. So I slow down a little more. He slows down a little more. So the next thing you know, we're going 50 on the freeway in the middle of nowhere. So I'm like, okay. So finally I'm like, I'm going to go around this guy. And I pull out, and I get back up to speed at like 65 or 70 or whatever it is. Yeah. He pulls right in behind me, lights me up. And I get out of the car, and he says, why are you going so slow? I'm like, what? Why are you driving so slow? You were going 48 miles an hour on the freeway. I'm like, because you practically stopped in front of me. That's why. It's like, well, I didn't have my lights on. You should have gone right around me.
Lose the attitude.
I'm like, you're a cop. I'm not just going to race by a cop in the middle of nowhere. He goes,
why are you yelling at me?
That's
what I would have said if I'm
if I don't have my lights on, I'm just another car on the road. And I'm looking at him like, you know, and I know what's going on here. You know, I'm not coming out here to fight this. I'm in the middle of the damn desert. I'm not coming back to Arizona to do this.
He's trying to hit
his,
so he's writing me the damn ticket, right? He has me get out of the car, the whole thing. He's writing me the damn ticket on the hood of his car.
That's a buck.
And he says to me, he goes, you ever fish? I'm like, what? Do you ever go fishing? I'm like, no, I don't fish. He goes, oh, that's too bad because there's a great little spot right over here that when the water runs, I'm like, that's great.
Oh my God!
I thought he was going to do a bait joke. Like, I was just baiting you.
Bored as hell. That's what he was.
Do you want to go fishing right now?
He had nothing going on.
One of best friends.
Awful. So no, Susan. To your point, Slee, Susan is a nurse, and she, when she's on the road more often than not, she's coming or going to work. She's in her scrub. She's got her IDs.
Yeah.
She has gotten out of a ticket on more.
She should just wear that to restaurants too.
I always said, clip your badge to the rearview mirror. She's Jeff Gordon, basically, when she gets behind the wheel of a car.
I have gotten pulled over once. I did not get a ticket that time. I think I had expired, sticker. Like, how you have to put the sticker on every month or whatever.
The reg card?
Yeah, once a year.
Yeah, once a year.
Yeah, so I had the wrong year up. I was thinking it fell off. I told the guy, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I think it fell off. I had it before. And he saw that my registration was up today. He's like, yeah, go ahead. So I haven't had any of that issues, but I have gotten I have gotten a ticket from a camera, like a robot camera or whatever.
Yeah,
in DC, there's one area where if you go over whatever, and that's just straight numbers. And I was like, okay.
You ever got one of those?
Yeah, I have. You try to fight it. I'm like, are you sure it was me? Sir, there's
your
a photo of you smiling, trying to get by the side.
Mission Impossible situation. Somebody had a Sliwa mask on.
Here's Alan Sliwa.
The funny thing is when she said about her registration, I could see her dad having all those cars there. It's like 1998 stickers. She's like, why the hell am I? Why the hell am I going to pay for this?
Why not? Dodgers and Padres. We've talked a lot about them. It's going to be a great race in the NL West. And Slee, I did a little head-to-head. I don't know if I'm as excited about this season as I was a couple of weeks ago. It's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
After
We were getting schooled by George Sedano, the most athletic guy at the station. You're really scared of DeMarco and... Come on.
Those two guys are going to run into each other.
DeMarco?
Court ain't big enough for them two boys.
Kirk?
Seriously, big boys. Soul brother. Too big. They're too big.
It's Travis Rogers, Alan Sliwa.
Oh, but okay. Did you have the little tiger? Remember the tiger? The tigre?
Travis and Sliwa.
On 710 ESPN.
Bergman in the house. You gotten ticketed anytime recently? We were just talking about the last time you got pulled over.
Got arrested a week and a half ago.
Bar fight?
You know why Sliwa knows that? He bailed me out. He's a good guy that bailed me out of jail.
He's your jail phone. That's a good conversation, by the way, for one day. Who's the person you call when you need to get out of jail and keep their mouth shut?
There's one answer.
Do that? You might have been out of here because I talked about bailing my friend out of jail one time. My mom didn't know about that story. Yeah, my mom didn't know that story, and I was like, I didn't know that Chandler went to jail.
I had a run at Santa Barbara. Speaking of, where I lived with 3 other guys. I bailed them all out of jail in a 2-month window.
Well, that's Santa Barbara for you. But there's one correct answer at this station. There's one correct
like a
answer.
savings account for bail money. It's
like
titled.
The guy at the front desk of the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, yeah, I was
they buy
becoming a regular.
They buy the 12 packs or the 18 packs, and the change goes into that fund. Yeah, right. So you always have somebody. But there's one correct answer for somebody that will bail you out of jail here, and you know who it is. John Ireland will bail any single person out of jail that is in this station, and that is a fact.
And then he will tell the story on air the next day.
That's the problem. There you go.
If you ask him not to, he won't.
That's the one.
John is 100% the guy. He will be there immediately. If he is your one phone call, he will be there in 20 minutes
Who
or
are you
less.
calling, Slee?
One person from the station.
It's John Ireland.
Kate's.
Good answer.
Yeah, Kate's will keep a secret. Kate's is I call Kate's. Kate's, if you guys don't know, been doing the sales thing for a number of years. I'm calling Kate's.
He was Salesman of the Year at the Mandy's last year.
It's basically Salesman of the Year for 19 years in a row. Okay? Whether that award was there or not, the guy's been Salesman of the Year for 19 years.
But no, I haven't got a ticket in a little bit. The last time I got a ticket was because I was driving, looking at my phone with directions. It wasn't anything other than just Waze. No, it was.
Sure.
It was Waze, and I was looking at it. And
what level were you on?
On Waze?
No, whatever game you were playing.
Candy Crush.
Words with
I think
friends.
I'm in the top 5%
He had a
of
triple
Waze.
word score with a Q.
Oh, man, I'm winning that game. But it was right. It was downtown. And I was driving.
You guys are missing the most obvious answer to that question, by the way. It's him.
It's Taylor?
Oh, for sure. Think he's ever going to tell anybody?
I don't got the cash though.
No, I'll pay for it. But I need you to come down and pick me up. And here's the deal: I got caught doing something I wasn't supposed to do. I need you to pretend that he's never telling a soul.
Not one person
he's
ever.
Never telling
and
a
wouldn't
soul.
treat you any differently. I don't
Right.
think.
That's what I mean. Like that. He's the answer to that.
I
question.
agree with that. Just because when you
Morales
know
would
things,
say nothing too.
When you,
Imaging next day.
I don't know. I love Morales. He's talking.
Here we go.
Yeah, of course he is.
Travis and Sliwa. Last night, Trav got picked up at 3:45 after, right?
No, but Taylor's one of those guys, though. Like, if you want to know about Taylor, you have to ask.
Right.
Like, it's like, oh, you were doing this last night? Well, you didn't ask me, so I didn't know.
Did you
tell you.
pick
Trav
up
got arrested? You didn't
for a
ask.
triple
You didn't
homicide last night? You didn't ask me if he did.
Unless
so-
you ask that specific question,
Right.
you're not
Yes,
getting
it
the
needs to be
details.
the
You're my guy,
specific
Taylor.
question.
You're my guy.
Memorize my number.
My boy Blue.
Yeah, I never memorize anybody's number.
Are you guys ready to do
Remember
one more
everybody.
category for the
course we are.
Oscars? Okay.
Absolutely.
So this one is going to be Best Actor in a Supporting Role. Okay, I know we are all we know who's going to win this one, right? Right, of course.
Yeah, this one's
So
kinda easy.
Jack Nicholson.
we got Brendan Gleeson for The Banshees of Inisherin.
I don't know who that is.
We got Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway.
I don't
we got
know him.
Judd Hirsch for The Fabelmans.
Taxi?
Is that the same guy?
Yeah, he is.
Oh.
That's him.
Nice.
We got Barry Keoghan. He's an Irish last name, so I think that's the right way. Banshees
Keegan.
of
I think it's
Inisherin.
Keegan.
Maybe.
Lots of E's, O's, G's, H's in a row.
I've heard Keoghan pronounce it at an
It's
award show.
Keoghan.
Okay.
Can I just throw it out there that no one really gives a damn?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got it. And then you got Kiwi Kwan from Everything Everywhere All at Once. He played Short Round and Indiana
That guy was
Jones.
awesome.
Yeah, so he's had a big comeback story for this one. So, all right, let's start with Alan. Who do you think's gonna win?
Kiwi Kwan.
All right.
If I pronounced that right. That's I'm gonna go. Everything I do will be just the movies that I've seen. So it's either Maverick or Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's
you see
my
it?
theme here.
Did you like it?
I have seen it. It's
Did you
really
like
good.
It was great.
Really, really good.
All right, Greg.
It's Short Round. Yeah. I don't know who any of those other people are except for Judd Hirsch. So, and I've heard of Barry Keoghan, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
I think I'm the guy from Everywhere, All at Once. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Is that a different movie than the one that everyone else
look,
is talking
there's
about?
a lot of
There's
E's.
there's a double everything
There's
in your
something.
version.
If you
everything all at once.
If you
They
see the
took
movie, that
10% of
actually
the
makes
sales.
sense.
They took 10% of the sales because people were confused.
All right, Trev.
Jennifer Connelly.
Perfect. Taylor.
Give me the Irishman from Banshees.
Okay, so which one? There's two. There's Brendan Gleeson and Barry
He wants
Keoghan.
both of them. He wants both of them.
Keoghan.
Okay. And then I'm going to do Kiwi Kwan. He has won at every award show. He's
Yeah, he
so
was
good
great.
in the
He was
show.
awesome.
He has a huge comeback story. Everyone loves him. Everyone wants to take selfies with him. So I'm going to go Key.
I like when.
I've seen that guy.
I believe you.
And I have to do that because I crack jokes on this, but that movie was actually really good, and it's
great.
the only movie I have under my belt that I could offer anything to.
There's a specific fight scene that you would know that was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Is it
Where the guy's
the-
flying through the air?
Yep.
Yeah.
That
It
one.
was amazing.
It's great.
Top
So
Gun had
funny.
guys flying through the air.
But did they land on the
type
things
of-
that we're talking about?
Yeah,
No.
they didn't land. They did not land on what we're talking about.
Al, is that
In
a
the
good
break.
scene? You guys be quiet. I'm talking to Alan.
I don't want to push.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Okay.
It's a good scene.
Sure. I believe you.
By the way, that was already too much pushing. That was
No, it
all.
wasn't.
All I did was
You're not-
just say,
you're not
I'm like, I don't want to push. You're like, you're pushing too hard.
You're not the pushy guy. You're all right. If you actually gave me
buck.
if you gave me a real Trav, no, really, I think you'd like. I'd listen to you because you don't do that. Like there are a few that got to give it to me every once in a while that I.
By the
take their
way,
advice.
I know I mentioned this to you. I am so in your honor right now.
You said you watched another one last night.
Watched 2 last night.
2 more. Half hours, hours.
They're 1 hour
love
each.
that.
Wow.
Shrinking.
I've done.
You're watching more than I am right now.
I've done 2 episodes. I did 2 episodes Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday. Yeah, I've done 6 episodes in the past.
You got to be close to
3
being
days.
done with it. I would
I think
think.
so. How many do we know? I haven't even looked it up. I don't know how many episodes there are in season 1, but got to be getting close to the end of season 1.
I cheat a little bit. I always like once I'm into something, like if you're 3 or 4 in, you're like, okay, how many of these are there? Like, do I know I've got one more, 10 more, because you got to kind of save them.
I
as
always
they
look
come.
forward. Yeah,
Me too.
By the way, Emily, you're right. It is Kyogen in according to Wikipedia at least.
Greg, do you think for 1 second that you were more plugged into what's going on in the movie universe than she
you
was?
also-
I really shouldn't have.
You also threw me
but
off.
I really thought so. Yeah. What?
Yeah. Yeah, but those Irish
Keegan.
names, Slee, can be all over the place.
No, I mean, but look, yeah, exactly. The Irish names.
The Irish names are all over
Like
the place.
Siobhan is not spelled.
Well,
how you
what's
say-
the Saoirse Ronan or whatever?
Yeah,
her name-
Saoirse Ronan,
that-
yeah.
Like,
Oh,
that's-
it's spelled so weird.
It's got like I's and O's, and
Well-
it's Saoirse.
had a friend named.
Was she on SNL? That was the one that was
She
on
was.
Yeah,
SNL.
she was.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
a,
she
there's
talked
a,
about that.
Emily.
someone named Neve.
Little credit, please, for me knowing Saoirse Ronan.
Yes, she's one of my favorite actresses. I love her so much.
No, that's not
No,
the
no.
point.
I'm
Hit
giving
a
you
bell or
I
like.
got a really obscure Irish actress correct.
Ding, ding, ding.
That's
Credit
what
to
Thank
Travis
you,
Rogers.
Taylor. That's all I really
Can you name
wanted.
something she was in?
Not a chance.
Right.
To really
Lady
show
Bird, Little
respect
Woman,
for knowing that
Brooklyn.
name,
That's a balk.
play play that applause till 11:12,
Sure.
and then we'll just stand here like this.
Works for me.
And Slee got
Standing
10
ovation.
episodes, by the way.
10 episodes. And so, you're getting close.
I think I got one more left then.
Tonight, no Lakers.
Yeah, tonight. Oh, done.
Shrinking.
Yeah, you know what you should do? Right when it's done, you should do one of those handheld videos straight to Twitter, go live and just break down the entire series.
The best.
Alan Sliwa here breaking down the verdict. What's it called? Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Breaking down Your Honor.
The best part about doing that is when you're so far behind everybody else and no one's going to know what the hell you're talking about. It's like me. It's like somebody in sports going back and, hey, just watch the Cavs Warriors series from 2016. What a great series.
I watched Breaking Bad late, right? I watched it. I started watching it years after it had ended, right? So I was maybe 5 years late to this whole thing, and I was so desperate to talk to people about it. They're like, "Dude, what huh? This? I watched this 10 years ago. What are you talking about?
I don't remember that scene."
Or
He threw a
why
pizza
are you
on the
bringing
on the
it up now?
roof.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad blogs. You're trying to.
I'm gonna freshen it up
On Lakers
Freshen it
Talk
up.
Daily, can you just start dropping in little Your Honor references?
It's not bad.
That
I-
was
I-
amazing.
Lakers Daily.
I love that. I'm in this Your Honor
You
stuff.
should.
I did not know that I was going to like it this much.
I did.
I told you did because you suggested.
So confident. I love
she
that.
did. She said, I told you this, that when you find one, because you don't always get one, when you find one that you're into, that is so nice at night to just be like, I'm watching that. And you kind of already know what you're watching. You don't have to. Breaking Bad has done that. Sopranos done that. The Wire's done, a few of them has. Your Honor's good enough. That's definitely good enough.
I hate searching for something to watch.
You got to have somebody that you share a point of view and interest with that has Rex, right? Because if you're just going in blind and you're going in top 10 on Netflix. By the way, I started the MH370 thing on Netflix last
How was
night.
it?
What is that?
It's about the Malaysian air flight that just vanished.
Wow. Oh yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh, I'd watch that.
Yeah, it's there's a lot going on there. I watched half of the Chris Rock special last night.
Yeah, I didn't. I stopped after about 20 minutes in. Wasn't into it.
Yeah, I mean it was
Not good?
funny.
There was funny parts, but it wasn't laugh out loud. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I think part of it is with Rock in particular. You have such a high bar.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Because it's Chris Rock, you're expecting to be in stitches from the moment he walks on stage. That's not what. There are some great jokes. I did like the one joke he said, "Where you're not gonna be able to tell any of these jokes at work tomorrow." True.
Right.
Yeah, very.
How
very
long
true.
is it?
It's about an hour and 10, 15 minutes.
Like most specials are kind of that length.
Yeah.
You know what I started watching? I started watching History of the World Part 2.
The Monty Python?
I've heard that that's really good. So they redid it
They
now.
redid, yeah. It's Mel Brooks
Okay.
redid.
Oh, Mel Brooks, that's right.
Yeah, History of the World Part 2. And it was in 4 different days, so today is the last day because they started on Monday. And it is so funny. I mean, it does kind of go towards the Jewish tribesman in me because Mel Brooks is that side of it. But if you liked History of the World Part 1, it's so funny. It doesn't overlap that much with the old one. Very funny.
I like the first one.
Okay, you'll like this.
Okay.
You'll like it.
I might have to get that.
I'm curious. You should.
I might have to get the doc you're talking about.
The MH370, I think
Yep,
it is.
MH370.
Yeah. It's
when the Lakers.
You think I'm not a conspiracy theorist generally, but this is one of those this just doesn't make any sense at all. Like how did it just really a 777 just gone?
I think I'm doing I'm finishing
Seems
Your Honor
unlikely.
tonight, and then
Weird.
I'm going to MH370.
Do Rock too. I'm curious what you think about Rock special. It's good, but it's not Chris Rock at his absolute, best.
Yeah.
Not his best.
It's a little.
Dodgers and Pods head to head. Who's got it? That's next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
All right, I'm talking to all 710 listeners right now. Let's start off with this. March 18th, it's a Saturday afternoon. Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley. That is where I am about to teach everybody a little bit about pickleball. And the reason is because you see my father here is a world champion pickleball player. And while I have never played pickleball, not one time in my entire life, I already got my own racket, which means I'm about to kick some you-know-what. So come on out and support. Be there. We'll all watch college ball games together, and we are going to win.
Has the same person dropped off food at your house twice in one day? I don't.
Great question.
Travis and Sliwa
on 710 ESPN.
You're going to have to change that promo, Al, to have you ever had your delivery driver drop off Thai food at another Thai food restaurant on the same day?
That was one of my favorite stories you've ever told.
Well, here's
by the way.
the
It's
great
so good.
thing. Here's the great thing. Every time I tell the story, I actually have a real enjoyment of telling the story. So when you could have such a stupid, idiotic move that involves you, and you're like looking forward to telling the story, then it has to be a really good story. Thai food dropped off to another Thai food, and the place was closed, and the Thai food was just sitting on the bench outside of a dark Thai food place.
Is that your party like a icebreaker? So when you go to
or
a
do
party,
you juggle?
Yeah,
it's either that. What was the other?
Hey guys,
watch this.
What was the other one?
Throw me an orange.
What was that? Hacky sacks? Is
now-
that what was it called? Hacky
Banana.
sack?
Yeah. You never played hack?
No, I did, but it was like high school. You just go
Well,
to
now
a
you got
party.
pickleball, man.
You have a hacky sack. You just start throwing it up there. What is he doing? Come on, hit it.
Let's be friends.
You guys want to get in on the hack? You want to come on over and join the hack?
The drum circle right next to
Slee,
it.
I figured like you got one of those knit hats that's all dirty and stinks. Like every hacky sack guy had the hat on as well. I've
You
never
have dreads,
You
too.
never see.
Yeah.
I never see a hacky sack guy like clean cut. Like he just sets his briefcase down and starts a hacky sack.
Let me put down my cigarette real quick, just a second.
Now
All
it's
right.
an e-cig. But yeah, go ahead.
The Padres basically went out and spent money to buy every good player that was available on the market this offseason. and
failed too, right?
And missed.
Aaron Judge didn't get
Trey Turner.
Didn't get.
They got Bogarts. They gave all the money to Machado. They gave all the money to Tatis. They gave all the money to Darvish and Musgrove and all these guys, and yet they still tried to get everybody else that was an impact player. Dodgers have been King Kong in the NL West for the last 10 years. They have 9 division titles. The one year they didn't win it, they won 105 games and won the wild card. Okay, they're still very, very good. And I've been of the opinion that the Dodgers, I think, are in a pretty good spot coming into the season because, A, they got a good team, and B, for the first time in I don't know how long, the expectations are realistic. It's just be good, get in the playoffs, and see what happens. Not, are you going to win 115 games and win the World Series?
Dave Roberts has to guarantee a World Series. No,
exactly.
All that
He even
stuff.
said he's not going to. He refuses to do it again.
All of those expectations went down south. They're on the Padres and everything that they have. But just if you go through this and look at it, and I have both of these lineups, we're just going to go position by position. The Padres have a better player at more positions than the Dodgers do. I think the Dodgers have 2 no-brainers. Tell me if you guys agree with these.
Okay.
Freddie Freeman over Jake Cronenworth at first base.
Of course.
No-brainer.
Of course.
Right? Okay.
Absolutely.
Will Smith over Nola at catcher.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No-brainer.
Yep.
I think those are the only 2 that the Dodgers have that are no-brainers.
No-brainer.
Here are the Padre no-brainers. Bogarts over Rojas at shortstop.
Yep.
Machado over Vargas at third.
Yep.
Okay. Tatis over whoever plays left field for the Dodgers.
Probably
Taylor.
Taylor.
Yeah. Okay.
Fair.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
We don't know how Tatis is going to come back.
You
but,
don't,
yep.
but if you just said which of these 2 guys do you want on your team,
You want
everybody's
Tatis,
picking
take your
Tatis.
chance. Yep.
Okay. The rest of it, so that's 3-2 for the Pods. Here's where it gets interesting. Ha-Sung Kim or Max Muncy at second base?
I probably would go Muncy.
Okay.
Ha-Sung Kim is he's not a hitter.
Yeah, you're getting different things.
Getting
You're,
different
you're,
things for
you're
sure.
getting a solid baseball player, but he's going to play small ball. If you said pick between those 2 players, he's a better defender. I'm taking Muncy between those 2.
Right. It's kind of like the difference between
You want offense or defense, right?
Yeah, offense or defense. It's the difference between Bogarts and Rojas.
Okay, so let's
one's
get
defense, one's offense.
Let's say the Dodgers.
Even
but
though Bogarts is
it's
pretty
close,
decent defense.
right?
Yep.
Close, but Dodgers. Okay, go to the next one. That's kind of a toss-up. Center field, Grisham for the Pods, or the Outman, Hayward, Trace Thompson 3-headed monster for the Dodgers.
It's a 50-50 to me. You don't really. It depends on what you get from Outman. Outman looks like he's going to be a stud.
Okay?
Like he
But
could be
who
that
knows?
type of guy. But we don't
He
know.
also could be Billy Ashley.
He very well could be. He could be Rookie of the Year Cody Bellinger too.
Yep.
But the difference, Grisham is a good defensive player at times, and his
He's
offense,
a good defender.
He's
Yeah.
a good defender. His offense absolutely disappeared last year until the playoffs. So I don't really get much from Grisham.
I would just go Trent Grisham only because
the defense.
I think not just the defense.
You know what you're going to get.
Yeah, he's been there. And you're right. He did have a run in the playoffs where he was hitting homers off Scherzer, doing everything. He had a great
That
run,
was crazy.
but I feel like, let's put it this way. There's more upside to some of the players that you're talking about, but I kind of feel like I know what I'm going to get with Trent Grisham.
I tend to agree with Al. It's close, but
close.
If we're going to flip coins, I think I would land on the Padre side because I know what I'm going to get. The other guys, you might get a little more, but there's a better than average chance you could get less.
And you don't know who's there every day.
Yep.
No, so I think if you told me at the end of the year who was going to be better between those 2, and I'm just going to use Outman, I think Outman's going to have an overall better year than Grisham. But as of right now, today, probably Grisham.
Here's the big one. It's right field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big one is because Mookie Betts is a former MVP and is still an excellent major league player. Juan Soto might be the best player in baseball. So the Dodgers' best player may not be the better player of the 2 guys at the same position in that division.
So I still think it's Mookie for the longevity because you know what you're going to get from the same kind of thing you're talking about with Grisham, but on a much higher level because Mookie has done all of it and he's that good.
If you
He's
could
such a
trade
freak
Mookie for
athlete.
Juan Soto today, do you do it?
I think just because of age, most likely, yeah, but not
Availability too, a little bit.
avail-
Mookie was banged up a little bit last year.
Sure, but I think that overall, I think
Soto's got more
Betts
pop.
I also think Soto in that ballpark showed that he wasn't as great as he was at the Nationals ballpark, and he was pretty bad for a little while. He got better towards the end of the year, and
You betting on him
He
being
also
bad
walks
again?
a ton, and
Yeah.
I need more pop from him.
You betting on Juan Soto being bad again?
No.
Can I jump in for a quick second?
But I do think as of right now, this is the same conversation with Grisham versus Outman. As of right now, I'm still going Betts. But at the end of the year, Soto over Betts probably.
Soto's going to have a year.
Yeah, he is.
He is. He's going to have a year for a couple different reasons, but he's also going to have a year. You want to call it the shift. That's going to every ball he hit was in the shift last year. Okay, I think
see what they're doing now.
Bringing the right
they're putting
fielder
the left
over.
fielder in right field.
The left field and right field.
They're moving the left fielder to where they used to put the third baseman because there's no rule that the there's a rule on where the infielders can be. There's no rule on where the outfielders can be.
I don't have a problem with that, by the way.
We'll see what happens. We'll see how many people do it and how effective it is. Because if the result is the same as using the third baseman, they'll write a new rule.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, and that's interesting. That's not something that they thought was going to happen.
Did you?
I did not.
Neither did I. Like it's one of those things that,
but I don't
this guy's pretty
run
smart.
baseball.
Yeah.
Okay, so just the Soto Betts conversation. I think he's going to have a year, and I think a lot of those walks that you were talking about, you're not wrong about, but there's so much protection around the lineup right now that the Padres have. It's not like, hey, walk Soto, and then you're good to go after that. It's going to be a dangerous lineup to begin with. I think he's going to have a year. The only difference is Mookie's such a baller in right, just from a defensive perspective, versus Soto. Soto's going to have a year.
So you think, would you put on the defensive end, you would put Betts over Soto?
I would.
Okay, so then there's that portion of it, too.
I would, but Juan Soto is Juan Soto might be the best offensive player in the league.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
And I'm taking that. I don't care if he couldn't catch a cold in right field. If you're the best offensive player in the league, I'm taking that guy. It's really close, but I'm doing it. Let's just go through the pitching very, very quickly here. Ace to ace, Urias to Darvish, Dodgers. Yes?
Yes,
okay.
Urias.
I agree. And these are I'm using the order that ESPN has the depth chart here. Okay, Kershaw to Musgrove,
even though he's probably the third.
Kershaw to Musgrove.
Kershaw.
I don't think so.
I go Musgrove.
Musgrove's
just because of age and
you can't pick Kershaw because the other guy gets injured.
Well, no, but Kershaw gets injured too, obviously, and he sits out time. But when you put them up head to head, when Kershaw still had a great year last year.
He did.
He is a legit pitcher. He is
100%.
not just throw. He is pitching to spots, and he's going to have a below 3 ERA.
Musgrove keeps getting better though, Greg.
Yeah, he's getting,
Musgrove. I'm going to just remind you of one game from last year that kind of
in a big game
solidified Musgrove. It's Game 3. This is it. You're on the road. You're in New York.
Is that when his ears turned bright red?
Yes.
Yeah, and they were rubbing his ears, like going real deep.
That was like
ear massage.
Come here.
Like I was like thinking there was a medical emergency. Like everything all right? Like your ears are not supposed to be that color.
There's something about Musgrove that I just don't trust. I don't trust him.
He is. I trust him over Snell.
Well, I don't trust Snell at all.
And not only is he getting better, like you just said, he kind of solidified himself last year as this is one of those dudes. So.
Go to the next guy. Gonsolin, Snell.
Gonsolin is injured right
Snell.
now.
I think it's really close.
Close.
I would call that one a wash. I don't. Snell's getting worse.
Yes.
Gonsolin's getting better.
But we need to see it again from Gonsolin.
Yeah. So
that was the first thing you said. You got to see it again.
I'm going to need to see it again, and that feels like a wash. Let's do the last two. Dustin May, Michael Wacha.
Dustin May.
I think so, too. Last guy, Syndergaard for the Dodgers, Martinez for the Pods.
Syndergaard.
I think so, too. So the Dodgers have a slight edge in pitching. Go to the last thing that we got on the list. Josh Hader against
nobody.
God only knows.
Yeah. Maybe Evan Phillips.
Pick and choose for that day.
So Hader,
and it's not even going to be Evan Phillips. He's the fireman role.
The point of all this is, even if you kind of try to tilt it towards the Dodgers, the Padres still have more. Yeah. And it doesn't guarantee anything. There's no guarantees in baseball.
Yep.
Baseball is weird. Super teams very rarely work. But the point is, if the Dodgers, we are just kind of like, look, they're going to win 90 or 95 games. The Padres are too, and it might come down to those 14 games that they play against each other. We were talking about a couple of years ago. Remember, this is going to be like the World Series, and it wasn't. The Dodgers beat them like a drum. It never really turned out like that. It might this year. Those teams are remarkably evenly matched.
So all I hear in that, by the way,
can I just hear real quick from you guys, because it's on the outside looking in, Bob Melvin or Dave Roberts?
Dave Roberts.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, not because Bob Melvin's bad.
No.
Not because Bob Melvin is bad, but I think we talked about it a couple of days ago with Gavin Lux. I think Dave Roberts has a very significant connection to his players. He
does.
I think they respond to him very, very well. He's been there a long time. He's got history with him. Melvin's still relatively new.
And by the way, all I heard in all of that was that after San Diego went and did all of this, paid all this money, Peter Seidler doing all of this.
They're about as good as the Dodgers.
They're about as good as the Dodgers, maybe slightly better.
Yeah.
Like that just makes me feel better about this season moving forward than the other way around, where everyone's like, "Oh, the Padres are going to be so much better."
But this is what it was.
From that, I don't hear it anymore. I hear Dodgers in that.
This is what it was. I think it was. You got one squad that had 111 wins. You had another squad, 89, whatever the Padres had. What happened in the offseason was the Dodgers either didn't replace guys that left or have the injury like Gavin Lux, and the Padres went out and got guys. All you can kind of do if you're the Padres is, can we get up closer to their level? They came down a little bit. Padres came up a little bit.
It's like the catch weight in a title fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm a heavyweight, you're a welter, or whatever the next. It's like you're not coming up to 210. I'm not going down to 170. Let's fight at 185.
Yeah,
it's
evened
that's
out.
That's kind of where it is.
But I don't feel badly about the Dodgers after that. I actually feel
not
good
bad,
about them.
But the Dodgers also have a Achilles heel that they have not had in about 5 years. They are thin as a piece of paper.
Very, very thin.
They
They're
are
going to rely on AAA
super thin. The Dodgers haven't been thin in I don't know how long. And right now, look, if Gonsolin's ankle is a thing, we're having a really different conversation all of a sudden. Now I got to find another guy. Now Syndergaard has to be a little better. Yeah. Now all of a sudden, you got Grove, you got Pepio, Stone. You've got some guys that are major league caliber, but
Padres don't have that.
No,
they don't have
that. No
that
farm
depth.
system whatsoever now.
That depth.
Well,
in
they're
the
all
starting
wearing
rotation.
national uniforms now.
Right, you moved them all.
Yeah, they're all in D.C. or in the D.C. minor league
one
system.
guy goes down there, and everything flips for them too.
We are getting closer. A week from Saturday, March 18th, our inaugural Pickleball Madness tournament, 10 to 4 at Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley at the Agape Pickleball Center. Come on out and hang out with us. The event is open to the general public. You can reserve some seats. That is available at ESPNLA.com. Thanks to Michelob Ultra, Bud Light Seltzer, and Pizza Hut. We got all the TVs out there so you can watch your college basketball game. There's a kid zone. Bring your kids out. There's a beer garden. Look for me there. Complimentary food and drinks, live DJ and entertainment, prizes, giveaways, 360 photo booth. It is going to be great. And Team Thick Van Exel is going to be led by none other than Alan Sliwa. That's what's going to happen. And we got to win once.
Practicing 3 times in a week.
You're in. You're going to be given lessons by the time that this thing is over. Factor Cap coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
Everybody, it's Cap. Listen, I want you to mark your calendars for March 16th. It's Thursday. It's the tip of the tournament, and we're all going to be at Yamava. Okay, so it's going to be Travis and Slee from 10 to 1. Mason's not going to be on vacation. Mason in Ireland, 1 to 4. Me and Shidano coming up from 4 to 7. There's all these amazing craft beers, incredible restaurants, 150 LED screen TVs. It's the 909, the greatest sports bar on the planet at Yamava. Thursday, March 16th, all day long. Mark your calendars. Be there. I'll see you at Yamava.
Factor Cap.
Oh, that's Cap.
That's so cap, Dad.
Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go fact.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
No, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey guys, these are days that I love. I love live sports coming on during our show, and so Marquette and St. John's are marking up against each other in the Big East tournament quarterfinals. I know everyone's on the edge of their seats about it, but the end of regulation, Marquette tried to win, and they threw up an alley-oop. Alley-oop was too late into the buzzer. I'm like, that's your ending.
That's fine.
That's your end game thing. I don't
You know why
whatever.
you're in a good mood today.
Yes, why?
You're not coming to work tomorrow.
Yes, you're done.
yeah.
You're done. You're talking
UVA plays later too. It's
hour and a half away from
you're
your
already
weekend
thinking,
starting.
how much can I drink tonight and
Yeah.
still feel good on the boat tomorrow?
Hey.
And go to, like the whole thing. I know you're
Do I jump in the
'Cause I play
water
the
once
same
I get
game.
to Catalina? Do I just jump right off?
Get a
And I-
baldy fish sleep.
I love tournament basketball and Oscars are this year. All great stuff.
San
Coming
Diego,
up, Emma.
San Diego State at noon today, just
Yeah,
so
but
everybody knows. They
UCLA
got
at noon
Colorado
today.
State.
Gauchos and Cal Poly at 6.
UCLA Colorado at 12 on Pac-12 Network, which we can't get here, which is very frustrating.
Can anybody get it
Such a
anywhere?
good
No,
network.
because it's
Such
dumb.
a good network.
Yeah.
Just follow
Pac-12
the
Network is such
What
a waste.
I wonder
of
why
space.
SC and UCLA left.
No reason.
and it's going to fall apart
Jeez.
soon.
So speaking in the same vein, Jim Boeheim has now retired from being the head coach of Syracuse. He was the longest tenured coach in college basketball until he retired yesterday. And he and his team, Syracuse, lost in the last-second buzzer beater against Wake Forest yesterday. So a last-second buzzer beater is the worst way to lose a game in any sport. Travis, Fedra Cap.
Cap. There's one thing that I think is more gut-wrenching.
Balk?
A walk-off block.
Pretty good. It happens occasionally. By the way, I'll see it before the umpire will. That's high on the list. The one that, because it comes out of nowhere and the game's just over, is an overtime goal in hockey in the playoffs. Because it's up and down, there's chance after chance after chance, and then all of a sudden it just goes in and it's over. There's, like in baseball, there's a guy on base, or there's usually a build-up to it. Sometimes you just get a home run. But the hockey goals in overtime in the playoffs feel like just a random occurrence that happens out of nowhere, and it's just over. It just feels incredibly sudden, so I'll put the basketball one on the number 2 line.
All right, Berg?
So I was going to go fact, but you just completely sold me on the hockey one because you're 100% right. So it's Cap.
It's so abrupt.
It is. Like when Alex Martinez did it against
You know what it is, too? And I forgot to mention this, Berg. It's like in basketball, the clock's ticking down. In
You can
hockey,
watch it.
It could happen at any second, at any point in the period.
It's just a slap shot from the corner. You're like, oh, my God, it's over.
That's a good point.
2 minutes into the period.
Yeah.
The game's over.
Yeah.
You're not preparing for in basketball. There's 5 minutes left. There's 2 minutes left. There's 30 seconds left. There's 10 seconds. I can just bam over.
And at the same time,
Like, whoa,
you know
what happened.
You know there's going to be a half court heave,
Right?
Like when Jalen Suggs did it against UCLA for Gonzaga,
Right?
Like it was
It's coming.
It was going up there, and you're just watching it go through the air, and you're like, oh man, that's going in.
Right. Al?
So if I said, look, these are the worst sports moments I've had, but I don't know if it equates to this. So I'll give you an example. Being at the Chargers-Patriots game or the Chargers-Jets game, it's when your kicker...
It's a good one.
You're supposed to make the field goal.
The missed one.
You're close enough to hit the field goal. It's expected to go in, and he shanks it.
It's a really good one.
And the game's over.
It's a really good
That's
one.
it. Your squad just lost. You think that you were going to win. That one stands out to me more than anything else. I mean, you could say a walk-off homer. You could do that. But when you expect something to happen and it's a field goal and that's all that position player is there to do and they miss it.
You have it in your hand and it gets snatched
And it's
out.
done.
That's a good one.
And then everybody puts their head down and walks out of Qualcomm Stadium.
That's a
Then
really
the team
good one.
leaves.
Yeah.
That's Charger specific and a great
That's very Chargers.
Berg,
specific.
you're on the good side of this year, but a walk-off pick six, like the Patriots Raiders game
Oh
this year.
yeah, that's right.
That's pretty
Chandler
bad
Jones,
too.
Yeah, that was a good one.
All right, Taylor.
Cap on this. I'm going with kind of expanding on what Slee said. Just any kind of human error, like a ball going between your legs or calling a timeout you don't have, something like that.
Yeah, it's more when your squad disappoints you, not what the other team did.
You're right.
A remarkable shot or
It's
whatever.
like you're talking a makeable field goal that's missed is like you're 1 inch from glory, and then it's over and you're out and you go home.
And Kading is like,
you
no,
hate everybody.
no.
I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. Red Sox through the legs.
Buckner,
yeah. That is just. I mean, that's a routine play that you just
Done it a million
Behind the
times.
bag.
And it's over.
It gets through Buckner.
That's
Knight is gonna score.
So the Oscars producers came out and said that they were one of them was being interviewed by I believe the Hollywood Reporter and
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
And they were saying that when they start playing people off, they're not trying to be rude. They're just trying to, one, speed up the show, and two, if people are just going on and thanking everyone they've ever met in their life, you got to get the show rolling. So, it is rude to play music to pull people off stage when they are accepting awards. And, addendum, should we do this for the Mandy's? Right, Berg?
Yes, we should. No, it is not.
Won't affect
us. It is not rude, so...
No problem there.
Maybe this is your year, Slee. You don't know.
We don't even need walk-off music.
Right. No, it's not rude. It should be done. And all these things it's all self-aggrandizing anyway. I don't know. You can get them off the stage. Award shows just in general for the actors, they go on too long. The Oscars was like 3.5 hours.
Wow.
4 hours for a while.
Yeah, it's really long.
They've shortened it, I believe.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
It's still going to be long.
It's still going to be long. Like, that's too long. So
right.
Playing them off, totally fine.
Al?
I'll go Cap, but I wish it wasn't so black and white. I wish if somebody's, like, your speech, if it's good and it's flowing, maybe they should get 15 more seconds. And that speech that's all over the place and they forgot what they're supposed to say, maybe they should get 15 less seconds. Like, I wish it wasn't just...
You want a sliding scale?
I want a little sliding scale.
I think that's fair.
How's the speech? Is the speech good? Is everybody engaged in it? Everybody's like, wow, this is really good. And then all of a sudden the music comes on. It's like, well, the speech just ended. Or is this person talking? They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Let's move up the line a little bit.
Like, people know that, like, Kiwi Kwan is going to have a really good speech. He's been having good speeches across the board on all his awards that he's gotten, but some, better than others.
You know that.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, Trav.
Short round.
I'm the wrong person to ask this because I could give a damn what anybody has to say about any of that stuff.
Well, you appreciate getting music when you win an Mandy.
Short is always better than long, always, without exception. How many toasts, how many speeches have you wished? Man, I wish you would have talked longer. Almost never.
What do you?
Almost never.
You're host of the year at the Mandy's. What do you say?
Word.
And then walk off.
We need
Join me for a drink.
Yeah. No, we're good. I don't need to hear anybody say anything after this stuff other than thank you, thanks to my wife, my kids, peace out. I got no time for any of it.
Taylor?
Cap, no, it's not at all rude, and we definitely need to institute this at the next Mandy's because I think they went a little long last time, and I don't know, it seems like purgatory when you're not winning anything also.
Yeah, it sounds like you're just bitter.
If you guys were winning everything, would you feel differently?
It might have flown by a little quicker. I'm
gonna set up my fantasy league this year at the Mandy's. I'm gonna have
your
time.
phone out the whole time.
Like, all right, well, let's figure out who I'm drafting.
All right, so a bride has gone viral for making her wedding "quote unquote" adults only, and in the invitation, kind of spelled out why she believed that it should be adults only. So all weddings should be adults only. Alan, Patrick, Cap.
Cap. I get the idea. I get the concept. I come from a really big family. You know, just as an example, my nieces, things like that. No, I want them, my wedding, I want them there. So I think I get it. I understand why people do it. But for me, there is very important family members that are kids that I would want there.
All right, Trav?
Your wedding should be what you want your wedding to be. There are no rules.
There's your answer.
There are no rules to weddings. So if you want a clown juggling chainsaws at your wedding, knock yourself out.
They're booked, by the way.
If you want no kids at your wedding, great. It is your wedding, you and your partner's moment to celebrate your love together, and whatever you want to do to celebrate that is the right answer.
Berg?
That's right. It's Cap. If you whatever you want, you're 100% right, Trav. And I love watching Riley at weddings, dancing around, having a great time,
playing with other kids.
Whether she was 3 years old or 11-year-old that she is now, she has a blast no matter what. Just playing with all the other kids. No, yeah, it's whatever you want it to be. If you want kids, there should be kids. If you don't, they shouldn't.
Also fine.
Yep, totally fine.
Taylor?
Cap, you can do what you want, but don't be offended when the parents that have kids don't want to show up, because...
Yeah, also fair.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, adults only. Great. I don't have the resources or my kid's 6 years old. I can't leave him at home. I don't have anybody to watch him. Can't make it. Here's your cutlery set.
And then also might be like their goal is to kind of weed out the pack.
Might be. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have kids, but maybe for that evening they want to try to have kids.
Hey, Trav, can I borrow Michael and just say that I can't go to this wedding?
Sans shoes.
All right, so this this kind of goes into the Steve Ballmer talking about the toilets yesterday because we know we love that.
Toilets.
By the way, somebody put up on Twitter. Did you see the banner? It's like a Clipper banner. More toilets.
2024.
So good.
2024 most toilets.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, so you have knocked on the stall next to you for toilet paper when you've been out. So you've knocked on the stall next
There's
to you.
the whole
Seinfeld
episode.
episode. So
Right.
good.
Taylor?
I can't spare a square. I don't have a square to spare.
Not one square.
Not the stall next to me. I've ran out in different homes before, and had to ask the person in the next room for toilet paper. That's embarrassing, but no, never in a stall.
Trev?
No, I'm with Taylor. It's happened in homes, specifically mine, on regular occurrences.
Well, you don't look first.
I do when I'm in a
Sure.
non-home environment. Like it's something that you're like, okay, we're good, because otherwise you're in a situation that's going to be extremely awkward. But no, never away from the home base.
Berg?
Yeah, never away from home base. But I mean, I would if there's nothing there and I need to use it, I will absolutely tap and say, hey, can you just drop me a couple?
If the bathroom was
squares?
empty, would you kind of like mosey over into the next stall?
100%. Absolutely.
Al?
You have to. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can do. You have
I'm
to
not
do
walking
it.
around like that.
I've
Not like
never
Travis on the
been.
golf course.
Take it easy, Greg. We don't need to get graphic about anything.
I've never been in that situation, but I've gone to go use the restroom and checked. All right, this stall, you got no toilet paper over here. Cool, we're going to the next one. So I got a little lucky that I actually paid attention to it. So
You only need to get burned once before you check every time when you're
That's true.
in an unfamiliar environment.
That Seinfeld episode is amazing.
So good. Elaine sitting there yelling.
Elaine's
great.
Elaine's a huge fan. I'm a fan of Elaine.
Oh, Elaine's great.
Everyone
Julia
is.
Louis-Dreyfus might get nominated next year. She's in a movie that's kind of in the circuit, so maybe just
Which
write her in.
movie?
I can't
Not
remember the name
Funny
of it
People?
right now.
Or
Sorry?
You People? Not that one.
No.
Yeah.
But you got a year to.
Did you guys?
Let's
I
get
don't-
past
I don't
this year
think that's
first.
going to make any. Yeah, I did see it.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, I watched it.
I punted after like 20 minutes.
No,
Yeah, I watched the whole
this one premiered at Sundance, and so yeah, it's going to be that kind of a movie.
So she'll be my Jennifer Connelly pick for next
Yep,
year?
exactly.
There you go. Done. Aaron Rodgers looks like it's likely headed to the Jets. Might be a problem with that. That's coming up next. Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
All right, are you an
That was hamstring camp. We were getting schooled by George Sedano, the most athletic guy at the station. You're really scared of DeMarco and... Come on.
Those two guys are going to run into each other.
DeMarco?
Court ain't big enough for them two boys.
Kirk?
Seriously, big boys. Soul brother. Too big. Too big.
like a taco guy, like a go-to person, like in your phone, his name, and then it says taco guy, or no? I'm honestly, like, do you go to the same person?
We have a couple that we use.
Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
Emily was talking buzzer beaters. Nothing like a buzzer beater in the tournament. ESPN LA has taken over Yamava Resort and Casino's latest amenity, the 909 Sports Bar, for a tournament tip-off watch party. We'll be broadcasting live starting at 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's you and me, Slee, on Thursday, March 16th. You can come and hang out with me, Al, Mason, Ireland, Sedano, Cap. We'll all be there all day long. Wall-to-wall LEDs, 150-plus screens, 32 craft beers. It is the perfect place to watch all the college basketball action. Plus, we'll be giving away prizes, autographed memorabilia. You need to be 21. Please gamble responsibly. And like you said, none of us are like Jay Billis level college basketball fans, but having it on all day long and games ending and
the best.
You never kind of know for 2 days. It's pretty fun.
Even the weekend's fun. Saturday and Sunday's pretty fun too.
Those first 4 days are, in my opinion, the best until. I mean, listen, it's. Final Four is amazing. Sweet 16, especially if your squad's in it.
Your
San Diego State will take down UCLA in the Sweet 16, so we know what's going to happen there. We'll probably have really good defense and score 38 points for the game. That's San Diego State University.
Ledie's my guy.
That's your guy.
I like the name.
I love how you went to the Mountain West the night that the San Diego State Aztecs clinched the Mountain West.
Court. I was in the house.
T. Raj is there.
In the house.
Really?
Viejas Arena on the campus of San Diego State.
Wow.
Ledie and Ledie.
Paid $280 for his tickets. He just went and scalped him. He said, I got to be there.
I have to be at that game.
Not an empty seat in the house.
It's great.
Honest to goodness,
I know.
it was sold out, and it wasn't just sold out. Like, everybody showed out. It was really cool. It's no shade at all. Great environment for college basketball. I'm rooting for them. Once they play the Gauchos, I'll root for San Diego State. Not so much for you, but for Kelly.
And then
it all works out.
And then
fair.
root for UCLA just for for me.
I'm trying. Jason Levine on Twitter. I don't know what's worse. The fact that we're still slamming Billy Ashley 30 years later, or the fact that everybody gets the reference. Do you have a Padre that Billy Ashley, for those people that don't know, was the guy that was going to come and hit 50 home runs for the Dodgers? He was big. He was like 6'7". He hit bombs, just absolute bombs all through the minor leagues. They bring him up, and let's just say it didn't work at all. And the Dodgers kept trying to make it work. It never did. And Dodger fans are like, I thought this was a 50 home run guy. I don't think he hit 50 home runs in his career. Did the Padres have that guy that was super hyped that just fell on his face?
This is more, I'd say, in the 2000s. You guys remember Sean Burroughs?
Yep. Of course, local Long Beach Little League World Series hero.
Little League World Series, and that's what you heard every game.
Son of a major leaguer.
Okay.
His dad was a major leaguer, Jeff Burroughs.
Every game, all they talked about was he won the Little League World Series. I'm like, I know that, guys. It's a long time ago.
He was 12.
He was kind of a big name. Everybody's waiting to come up. Do you guys remember Khalil Green?
Sure. I think he was the first overall pick, no?
I don't know if he was.
Matt Bush. That's who I'm thinking of. Matt Bush was the number one pick.
Actually, that's the name. That's the one that I should have picked. That's the one that I should have picked. But Khalil Green was another big name. Matt Bush, that story, I think I've told the story before. Kennedy Recreation Center. Went to Granite Hills High School.
Matt Bush is an Eagle?
He is an Eagle.
I didn't know that.
He grew up, I played basketball with his brother. I coached against him in flag football and stuff like that when we were all playing. But he kind of was a wild card kid. And I don't know if you guys remember, the Padres took him first.
Uh-huh.
Who was it? Was it Weaver that went in the same draft?
Is that Jared, or is it?
I think Jared Weaver. Think about that. I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
Jeff was the older one, right? So Jeff was older.
It
had to have been
the better one. Jared had a better career than Jeff.
Did Jared go number 2?
I'm looking right now.
So the only reason why the Padres took Matt Bush and not Weaver is because they didn't want to pay Weaver. So they took Bush first. Bush came, ended up getting arrested, this, that. So that was another big-time name. So that's the best examples I could give.
Was really good for the Angels, and then he just didn't do much. Jeff Weaver was a Dodger for a little while.
Yeah. It would have been Jared. I think it was Jared.
It makes probably that age. Jeff was older.
Let's see. That's not what I'm looking for. No, it's every team has that guy that's the guy that's going to come in and absolutely change the way that your organization does it. And Very rarely does it work out like
Nope,
that.
much worse than that.
Justin Verlander.
Verlander went.
Oh, Verlander
much
went
worse.
too?
Verlander went twice.
You went over Verlander for Matt. Oh,
and
God.
everyone
We didn't
knew.
want to pay Verlander.
And everyone knew Verlander was better. They just didn't want to pay him.
I mean, he showed it too.
And since Matt Bush was from San Diego, they were trying to sell it on. So actually, so Matt Bush. Did he end up going to Granite? Did he go for a year or something like that? He ended up Mission Bay. Up at Mission Bay, but he's from El Cajon, the whole thing.
He made a comeback as a player later in his life as a pitcher.
Rangers.
Yeah, as a pitcher. He was a shortstop that
He
ultimately
had
made it to...
Awesome
I could be wrong
story.
here.
I'm not kidding. He had
Didn't
one of
he
the
go to
best
jail?
stories. He did go to jail.
Yeah.
He was in jail for, I don't know how long he was in jail, but he was in jail for a while. And when he came back, it was when the Texas Rangers they had a little run there, and they were getting to the World Series. And he was a part of those squads, and they had really good stories around that time frame of Matt Bush's return.
The MLB draft is stupid because, look, every once in a while, the first overall pick is Ken Griffey Jr., and, okay, great. Ken Griffey Jr. became Ken Griffey Jr.
Who knows what you're going to get in there?
I'm going to do this as quickly as I can because it's long, but here is the entire first round of that draft. There are basically 2 major league players in this whole draft.
Which draft you going to?
The Matt Bush one.
Okay,
I
I bet you the 6th, 7th, and 13th rounds have guys.
Matt Bush, and I'm going in order, 1 through 30. Matt Bush, Justin Verlander.
Yep.
Phil Humbler, Jeff Neiman, Mark Rogers, Jeremy Sowers, Homer Bailey, Wade Townsend, Chris Nelson, Thomas Diamond, Neil Walker, Jared Weaver was 12. Okay. Bill Bray, Billy Butler, Stephen Drew, David Percy, Scott Elbert, Josh Fields, Chris Lambert, Trevor Pluff, Greg Golson, Glenn Perkins, Phil Hughes, Landon Powell, Kyle Waldrop, Richie Robnett, Taylor Tankersley, Blake DeWitt, Matthew Campbell, and Eric Hurley.
A couple of those guys got major league
in the major league, but they're
Blake DeWitt was a Dodger.
They were plumbers.
Trevor Plouffe had a little bit of time.
These guys, there's 2 guys that made an impact in the major leagues. Not that made the major
Homer
leagues.
Bailey had
the
a
first
short
round.
Time.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to pick all-stars in the first round. You're supposed to pick guys that play 10 years in the first round. 2.
Yeah.
Justin Verlander. No, let's not take him. Is that not a very Padre thing to do?
Okay.
It's not just the Padres.
Good
I think
news
there's
for the
other.
Pods, though, Slee, honestly, with Peter Seidler, that will never happen again.
100%.
You'll pay him.
That if Justin Verlander is the clear consensus best player in the draft, you're not going to take him because you don't think you can afford to pay him. Padres will pay now.
Every small market team is probably rooting against the Padres. They don't want to see them have any success. They don't want to spend money. A lot of these other markets don't. Was it the Rockies owner that came out was like, I don't know if that's going to work. Yeah, you just don't want to spend any money.
How would you like to be a fan of a team like that? Well, it kind of puts a pressure on us. Yeah, you think?
Well, look at the guys they got rid of. You let Nolan Arenado just basically walk away.
Look, that's the one thing I will say, coming from San Diego and being in Los Angeles, that I don't think people from LA will truly appreciate because it's just normal to them. You got so much pressure and you have so much competition within your own city. If you are not competing every single year, if you are not trying every year, you really do get left behind. The Rams won a freaking Super Bowl a year plus ago, and you cannot tell me when the Rams play the Niners at SoFi that you're not going to have a ton of Niners. You have to be good pretty much every single year in LA because of what you're fighting for within.
Not that they ever would, but the only 2 teams that could take their foot off the gas for a while and they'd be fine are the Lakers and Dodgers.
That's it. Yep.
That's it.
They'll be fine, and you won't stop hearing the chirping. But
be
you're
hearing
right.
the chirping
but you're
all
right.
the time, but it's not like you turn around and Dodger Stadium's empty. It's not like you turn around and crypto is empty. The Dodger and Laker fans, they got him.
The fan base never goes away at any point. They're going to show up to every single game. They're
It's
going to
not
buy
that
the
they
merch.
don't
They're
go
gonna rock
away.
the merch.
It's
None of it.
because there's so many of them that
Yes.
it's such a high volume that
But
you
they're
can
also
only fit
hardcore.
19,000
crazy
fans
about that,
in
though?
there.
So here's one that I thought would have fell into that category, but it wasn't. It's SC football.
Yeah.
I thought SC football was one of these, like, it's SC, right? They got Heisman trophies. That the Kiffin, Sarkisian, Helton hat trick really put a damper on that program. Before Lincoln Riley came last year, Coliseum was empty.
Oh,
and not only was it empty, it was flat.
Yep.
It was boring. The football was boring. The environment was boring. There wasn't anything to it. And all of a sudden, they come back last year. Lincoln Riley does what he does. 80,000 people again. There's buzz. There's excitement. And it's the place to be all over again. I thought they were UCLA basketball is another one you thought would be
It went away.
And it went away.
It went away.
It's the Dodgers and the Lakers are the only two.
It's because if you hate the coach, and that's what happened a lot with Clay Helton and Sarkisian and all the Kiffins and all those guys, the same thing happened with UCLA basketball where you hated Steve Alford. He was just an absolute disaster of a coach, and you just destroyed the program, and nobody wanted to actually be there to watch.
But even if you hate the coach, if you're winning, they're going to come out.
But they weren't winning.
UCLA fans.
That's more of the gauge, correct?
Like you have to win. But they went to Sweet 16s, but it wasn't because of him, and it was
You
a
guys
whole
are
mess.
skipping over the most important part. Ben Howland was taking him to the Final Four on the regs, and they ran him off.
Yep.
I
I don't need to get into that. That's a whole much longer conversation.
But
he went to 2.
He's going to the Final Four, and he's in the mix a lot, and he's got NBA players falling out of his ears. He's got Westbrook and Love, and he's got NBA players.
There's a lot of nuance to it, but yes.
I understand. But he had NBA, and I know the players were not super excited to play for him stylistically and everything else.
He lost every AAU coach.
They were good, and they won games. He was putting guys in the league, and they're like, nah, we should do better. You're in the Final Four a lot. It just seems like maybe a guy might want to consider keeping around. What do I know?
Is he the only coach that's in the Final Four every year, and he's on the hot seat?
It's like
he then went to,
but he doesn't win. Yeah, come on.
He wasn't winning. Then he went to Mississippi State, and he didn't win there. And now he's just kind of hanging out at Poly Pavilion with Mick Cronin.
I used to get my arm iced when he was getting his knees iced in the UC Santa Barbara Athletic Training Facility after he would come off practice and before I'd start. Ben and I are basically best friends.
I loved him.
He wouldn't know my face if you gave him 2 to pick from, but I'm sticking
They're
with
buddies.
that story no matter what. All right, little news on Laker luck. We'll do that coming up in just a little bit. Plus, Caleb Williams is leaning into something that I absolutely love. What's coming up next? It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Everybody, it's Cap. Listen, I want you to mark your calendars for March 16th. It's Thursday. It's the tip of the tournament, and we're all going to be at Yamava. Okay, so it's going to be Travis and Slee from 10 to 1. Mason's not going to be on vacation. Mason and Ireland 1 to 4. Me and Shidano coming up from 4 to 7. There's all these amazing craft beers, incredible restaurants, 150 LED screen TVs. It's the 909, the greatest sports bar on the planet at Yamava. Thursday, March 16th, all day long. Mark your calendars. Be there. I'll see you at Yamava.
Hit him in the face, Sliwa.
I'll still take the face.
Travis and Sliwa right now.
I was hoping you'd be a little later, Slee. I wanted to get our
Play it anyways.
bathrooms dropped.
Toilets!
I really like that one. I think that's something we got. We need to have. That's a Bach toilets. We got to have this one.
Now, here's Alan Sliwa.
we need to start to round out our little
play 'em in.
little playlist along the way. Don't forget Pickleball Madness. We are getting closer. Just a little bit more than a week away. A week from Saturday, March 18th, 10 a to 4 p. Agape Pickleball Center in Fountain Valley. That is at Mile Square Park. Reserved seating is available. ESPNLA.com is where you register for that. You don't have to. You can just show up and have a good time. There's all sorts of things to do. We're going to be playing a pickleball tournament. We're going to get clobbered by pickleball players, but maybe we'll get lucky and get a good draw. Thanks to Michelob Ultra, Bud Light Seltzer, and Pizza Hut. You can watch the college basketball games. We've got all sorts of TVs out there for you. Pop-A-Shot, pickleball, demos, lessons, Kids Zone, beer garden, complimentary food and drinks, DJ, giveaways, Slee. It's going to be quite a day. Week from Saturday, and you are getting better every single day. You're going to play again today.
Even having a little chat right now, making sure everybody's still on board. Just double
stretching.
You know what you've taken over? You're like the organizer. You're like the leader of this group, and that's how you know that you're into it. When you're the one making sure everybody has got the address, the time, the location, the attendance.
So all that will change the moment that Yates shows up, and he's like, "Why aren't we stretching?" I'm like, "My bad, Yates. Sorry."
Stretching.
Put your arm over your
Suckers. Head. Luke is okay. His MRI came back clean. Doctors say that he can play whenever he can play. Whenever the pain is tolerable, he can get back out there, but no structural damage to Luka Doncic, so he is good to go. We talked about KD earlier in the show.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation, though.
Look, the Suns, to me, and felt like the team to beat in the Western Conference with Kevin Durant. That Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton felt that's going to be a tough putt for everybody.
When that trade went down, it was, hey, maybe there's a clear cut in the West where there hasn't really been a clear cut.
And quite frankly, Al, we never really got to see a lot of it to where we go, they're just kicking everybody's butt. This is not even going to be close. We never really got to see. Only played a handful of games. Twist his ankle yesterday, getting ready to play. Denver is the number 1 seed by a comfortable margin. They're very, very good. They're going to have the MVP on their team for the 3rd year in a row, most likely. But I got to tell you, if LeBron can come back and be LeBron or something close to LeBron, if the rest of the Lakers stay where they are right now, specifically Anthony Davis, but everybody else, I don't know if they beat the Denver Nuggets, but I'm real excited to see what that series looks like. Okay, I'm very excited to give them an opportunity there where that wouldn't have been true a month ago.
Let's just say this, and I don't think I'm being a little dramatic or anything like this. Here's the reality of the Lakers right now. Without their best player, because I still call LeBron their best player because he shows up more often than not.
Fair.
And their 3rd best player, which is D'Angelo Russell, who is not a superstar. He's not a star, but he's also not a role player. You could pretty much chalk him in for 18 and 6 a night, whether Bron's there or Bron's not there. Without their first best player and their 3rd best player, the Lakers have won 7 of their last 10 games. Okay, so
they're the hottest team among that group of others. They're the hottest team by a mile.
I think actually what's kind of funny when you say that, the only teams that, at least in the Western Conference, that have won 7 of their last 10, it's the Nuggets, the Kings, and the Lakers. Those are kind of your and I think the
Suns were 7-3 in their last 10.
Oh, okay, that's right. They won 4 in a row. So I set it up that way because, wait a minute, if Bron's not there and D'Angelo's not there, and the Lakers are beating teams that also have something to play for, they also have something to fight for, then what makes you think that if Bron came back and D'Angelo came back with the role players that they have, everybody agrees the roster is better now than before the trade deadline, why wouldn't they be able to hang with some of these squads? Now, I think the outlier, the Phoenix Suns with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, DeAndre, and Chris Paul, it's a really good team.
Yep.
But have the Nuggets done anything yet? This is always the hesitation with teams. The Boston Celtics, you feel if they got back to the finals, not a big deal because they've got to the finals before. The Milwaukee Bucks, they've won an NBA championship. So you all automatically give them the edge over Philly because Philly hasn't gone there. Has Denver been to the NBA finals? They haven't. Sacramento's the 2nd best record in the Western Conference right now. The reason why there's hesitation there is these guys have never seen the postseason. They haven't seen.
But 2 players on the Lakers roster have seen the finals. I mean, it's not the whole. It's pretty new roster compared to that.
2 most important people on your team have carried you to an NBA Finals. I think that's probably, if it was, like we say the Harrison Barnes thing, the problem with Harrison Barnes was it was years ago and he was not the best player.
He never carried the water. AD and LeBron carried the water.
So the only reason why I set up that way, and I'm not saying the Lakers are going to go on to some. We don't even know if LeBron's going to play another regular season game.
We don't even know if the Lakers are going to get in the playoffs.
Yes.
That's the other part of it. But what's happened, I think, and while I am as optimistic as I've been about this group in a very long time, what it kind of is, Slee, it's kind of melded your position and mine. They've kind of almost come together because, and I don't mean to overstate your position, but you were like, look, let's just get in. That's a good season, and just let the chips fall where they may. Just get in so the first time in a long time you can have playoff basketball, right? And my position was always more like, it's the Lakers, man. Just getting in is not the goal. The goal is to get in and make some noise and have a shot. Well, both of those things are still kind of in play, right? That now getting in seems far more likely than not getting in. But also because of the Kevin Durant injury, we'll see what the diagnosis finally is. But if it's that grade 2, it could be towards the end of the season before he comes
4
back.
to 6 weeks. It could be if it's a grade 2 injury.
It could be, and into the postseason potentially. Now, not only do I feel really good about them getting in, there's nobody out there. Are the Warriors better? Maybe. Are the Clippers better? Maybe. Are the Nuggets better? Maybe. The Kings? Maybe. But there's not a team out there, including a Kevin Durant-less Phoenix team, that I don't think that the Lakers can match up reasonably well with. I'm not saying they're going to go to the finals.
Yeah.
But now it's gone from there is no shot they go to the finals to, hey, listen, man, crazier things have happened than LeBron James and AD going to the finals.
I think our expectations are also based off of, for me, when I'm saying, look, I just want to see them get in. Can we have a playoff series, roll the dice, whatever happens, happens? I'm actually not, I'm not too far away from that still as I sit here today. I think the way I feel is when they were below that number 10 line for basically the entire season, and I'm not exaggerating, I think they were below the entire season. It was now they're at number 9. Now you try to see, can you be a little bit selfish here? Can you be a little bit greedy? Can they get one of those 7 or 8s? It's all going to come down to if Bron comes back and there's 3-4 games left, and the Lakers, are going to be the number 9 seed, let's say. Hypothetically, they're going to be the number 9 seed. But Bron is coming back. Then basically what you're asking the Lakers to do is win 2 games in a row. One of them will be at Crypto. The second one might be at Crypto if Clippers are number 8. And you're basically asking the Lakers, go up against the Denver Nuggets. I think then those expectations would change. My issue is...
Al, what if they beat the Nuggets? What if they're the 8, Nuggets are the 1, and they beat them?
Mm-hmm.
Look out.
Okay, and by the way,
look out
shocked?
At that point.
Shocked?
Surprised. Not shocked.
Not shocked.
Surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Surprised. Look, Denver's really good. I do think that we tend to kind of brush past them a little quicker than we should, but look, that's not the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
That's not a Kevin Durant-led Phoenix Suns team. It's a team that's really good that feels beatable.
So the other part of it, too, is because the Lakers play the Nuggets well. They just do. They
beat them twice this year
already. They're 2-2
already.
this year,
Yeah.
and they've actually, AD and Joker have been good matchups. AD is an incredible defensive player, and he kind of bothers the Joker, so that's just something to keep in mind. But I have a difficult time even in my head going that far. When you just kind of moved into the play-in, and now you're just trying to hold on to the play-in, I think at this stage it's like, all right, one step at a time, see where they go.
But you know what it is, too? And believe me, this is unfamiliar territory with me being optimistic. The indicators, the trends are positive for the Lakers in a really long time. The trends are they're getting healthier in the idea that D'Angelo is coming back, in that LeBron is coming back. Their supporting cast is better. Anthony Davis is playing better. Their defense has gone from dreadful to pretty darn good. They're not giving up 130 points a night anymore. The arrows are all pointed up. And look, I know we've spent, and I just said it a second ago, they could still miss completely. That's not even remotely off the table yet. I think they're going to be outside of the tops. I think they're going to be one of the top 6 teams. I think getting to 6 is a very realistic possibility. If they just continue to look like they've looked, I think they're going to get into that 6
past
spot.
Dallas and Clippers?
Yeah.
That's what you need to do.
It feels like that is not a huge ask.
Mm-hmm.
That Dallas is kind of all over the place. The Clippers are the ultimate all over the place. Their arrows are either flat or pointed down. Laker arrows are pointed up. Maybe it's just a good day. Maybe that there's good news in the Laker land because they're playing well. And KD, unfortunately twisted his ankle. But right now, they feel like a better bet than they felt in a very long time.
Now I feel like the negative guy. From Dave McMenamin here. Mo Bamba has a high left ankle sprain. He injured himself in that last game. He'll be reevaluated in approximately 4 weeks, actually 2 games ago, per the Lakers. So 4 weeks from today would be the rest of the regular season. Breaking news on 710 is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for locations and coupons today. We can't even enjoy talking about non-injuries and then Mo Bamba injury. And I know what you're going to say, but I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
They got him specifically just to be a backup big.
Sure.
That's your role, be a backup big. He had a few games where
he did
hit some threes, got some rebounds. Anthony Davis, go take a quick little breather. Thomas Bryant's not there anymore. That's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, but the Lakers are not going to sink or swim based on Mo Bamba's health.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to sink or swim based on Anthony Davis's health. I mean, I liked him when we talked. I think you were on vacation when we talked to him. He came on with us when you were away, and he was really funny and engaging. I liked him a lot, and I would rather have him than not have him. But this does not dampen my enthusiasm for it because, look, if they got him, great. But the Lakers are not going to go where they need to go if he's there, and they're not going to not go if he's not. It's just he's a member of the team and a part of it, but. He's not.
I hope he's not listening.
He's not integral to what they do.
I know what you're saying.
He's unfortunately, but get well soon, Mo. It is National Barbie Day, Emily.
Yes, it is.
Were you a Barbie kid growing up?
I loved Barbies. I also have, I love Bratz dolls too, which was like the counterculture of the Barbies.
Taylor,
they were a little more made up, shall we say?
Yeah. And I also really like. There's going to be a Barbie movie that's coming out this.
Damn right.
Animated or live action?
Live action from Greta Gerwig, who's my favorite director of all time, and I cannot be more pumped for that movie.
Was it Toy Story?
I don't think she's going to watch it.
It has Margot Robbie. It has Margot Robbie in it, and it has Ryan Gosling.
Say less.
She's Barbie.
Sold. Well, of course she is. Of course.
What
she
he's
is.
saying is he doesn't want you to oversell it. It's like, hey, you're ready to
it's got
sign
Margot
here.
Robbie. Done.
Stop the presentation.
I didn't sell you with Greta Gerwig.
Sales 101. Once they say yes, stop talking.
Shut up.
Stop talking. Hey, you know what? That sounds good. I'll sign.
That was my whole career on that side.
There you
Alan,
go.
stop talking.
Here's a pen. Here's a contract. We'll get that over to you as quickly as we can. Thank you very much, and then run to your car. That's how you do that. We're going to do a little toy draft coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
All right, March is a
We were getting schooled by George Sedano, the most athletic guy at the station. You're really scared of DeMarco and... Come on.
Those two guys are going to run into each other.
DeMarco?
Court ain't big enough for them two boys.
Kirk?
Seriously, big boys. Soul brother. Too big. They're too big.
Play this before our basketball games. Got us pumped up.
I'm out. Yes, you win.
Okay, so the order is going to be snake draft. So the order is going to be...
it's a snake draft.
Yep, it's going to be Taylor, Alan, me, Travis again, me, Alan, Taylor. That's
so childhood toys.
Yep.
What toys were your signature toys back in the day?
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to go first with the first pick of the draft. We got Taylor.
Okay, my favorite childhood toy. I didn't have a lot of these, but they are a great toy for dexterity in kids. They're a good toy for creativity. From Denmark, the Lego.
Ooh,
terrific.
Yeah.
Take it off the board right away.
Terrific choice.
I don't know if there's like an age thing here because I think mine are a little bit older.
But you had Legos.
I had Legos as a kid.
No, I had Legos, but I'm saying, okay, let him finish, and then I'll explain what I'm talking about.
I'm done.
Pick. Yeah,
that's it.
Al?
That's all I need to know.
If I have Super Nintendo as my first pick, does that count as as long as it's not like 7 years old or anything like that? Because I got Super Nintendo when Christmas hit for me.
Yeah.
It was Super Nintendo might have been the greatest gift I have ever received as a kid. And I wouldn't stop playing anything Mario Brothers, any of that stuff. Super Nintendo's what I got.
Nintendo. Those are two terrific choices. And by the way, I mean Nintendo, I guess is kind of generous because they didn't have Nintendo when I was 10.
Yeah,
but I was still young enough to when Nintendo came out to really want it. That's a great pick. Legos. I'm bummed that you took that, but Emily.
All right, so this next one, I guess this also might be more generational, and so I don't know, Trav, if you had one of these, but I feel like me and Taylor might have, and it might have Miss Lee too. So this is something that this craze got so bad at my school, they had to take it away. Like the teachers would not allow us to have these in class. So this is also something we could have had in class technically. So yeah, not a weed. So this was Tamagotchis. So Tamagotchis where you had you had little pets on the on your chain, and it's like a little fake pet in these like balls. And you could get more and more. Then you could have Tamagotchis play with each other, and your Tamagotchi could die if you didn't like take care of it. All that good. So it taught.
You know this toy, Al?
Responsibility.
I'm looking at it right now. It rings a little bit of a bell, but to be honest with you, no.
You guys don't know Tamagotchi?
Taylor, do you know it?
I know about it. I did not own one, but yeah, your toy would die.
Okay.
I had never heard that word until she said
in.
it 2 minutes ago. That's a new one for me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's my first pick. It's kind of lame, I guess. All right, Trav.
So these are very specific to me, but I think that if you are 30 or older, I think you will appreciate this. And I've talked about it on the show all the time. I loved it. I still have a passing interest in some of the older stuff, but I loved baseball cards more than anything else in the world.
Yep.
I liked sorting them. I liked collecting them. I liked trading them. We could put them in number order. We could put them by team. We could put them by player.
This is not easy.
I loved it so much, having those things. Open that pack, you see a little Dodger blue in the corner. It's not a Steve Garvey. It's a Rick Sutcliffe. Damn. And just, hey, is it going to be a Ron Say? It's Teddy Martinez. It was so exciting every single time. So I'm taking baseball cards, number one for me. My second pick on the flip around is something that I don't know if they still have it. They might. I know it was incredibly fun. I know if you brought it into this room right now, I would end up doing it for a very, very long time. Slot cars. Where you would snap those pieces of track together, and they had the little wire that would run through it. You'd put your car that had the magnet, and you'd pull the trigger on the little thing, and the car would race around the track. My brother and I spent hours racing slot cars against one another. It was a little temperamental, so if it was, you couldn't put it on the carpet really because the electricity wouldn't flow through it right. It was awesome. It worked about 9%
in the black market.
of the
You could get them to go 40 miles an hour.
You could kind of rig it where you could put 9-volt batteries in some of it as opposed to doing some other things. Just wonderful. Going slot cars, number 2.
All right, slot cars. All right, so it's up to me next. So this next one, again, it's much my generation. There are many variances of this game that are out there, and so I'm going to do, when I say it's going to be encompassing all the different forms and variations of it.
Weed.
She thought I said we. No, I said weed.
I knew.
Oh,
yeah, you knew it.
I heard
She thought we.
because I also love the weed.
Because they would not let us have this at school. Weed.
Different variations, different
obviously
styles.
different strands. But this one is Bop It. So it's kind of it's similar to like the Simon Says thing, but it goes bop it, pull it, twist it, crank it,
Bang it, tank, yeah.
Yeah, all that
I got
good
Simon
stuff.
on mine. That's a good
Bop
one.
It.
I love Bop It.
Super fun.
It's super fun.
It is.
Super infuriating, but it
Yes.
helps. Like it lays off things in your brain. So I have Bop It.
Do you know who hates Bop It, Emily?
Who?
Every parent. Because my kids had a Bop It, and it's fun to play it. It is the most piercing, awful sounds to listen to someone pull it, bang it, bang it,
Bop
tib
it.
it, bop it. It's
Twist it.
and it just goes and it goes and it goes and it's loud and it goes doing boing boing.
Taylor, can you
makes
find it?
all of these terrible sounds.
I now want to hear it.
Oh
Bop
my
it.
gosh!
Twist it. Pull
That
it.
it does all nonstop.
Crank it.
Crank it was a good
Yeah,
one.
that's all in there. All right, so Alan, you next.
Okay, with the number 2 pick in the draft. By the way, when you first brought this up this morning, I'm like, all right, let me think. Now I have like 14 things on my
I did
list.
the same thing.
Yeah.
This one I think I just have to have on there. When I was a little kid, I had one of the indoor hoops that go on your door.
Nerf hoop.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I played that thing as if, like, I remember my parents would walk in, and they'd be like, why are you sweating? I'm like, well, here's the thing. Right now,
Parker's up 2
Let's watch
games
the
to 1 in
Cubs.
the NBA Finals.
it's 7-7, and we're going. I played the indoor hoop like no freaking tomorrow. And the Nerf ball was so great about it. It's not really going to break anything. So you were kind of good enough to where you didn't have to, you didn't have to worry about anything in your room. The indoor hoop for me
My
was
brother
on
and
there.
I had knockdown, drag-out battles on Nerf
course you
hoop
did.
in his room. It was so much fun.
Did you hit him with Euro step?
Hezzy
So,
hey?
did you ever do this? So when you get to be like 10 years old and you can dunk and all that stuff, it's like it's
Yeah.
a little play from your knees. It's so
Yes.
you get to take jumpers,
Yes.
and you can like try to muscle your way
100%.
closer to the basket. So much fun.
I forgot about that, but
So much fun.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Even if I was standing up, I couldn't reach. I still couldn't touch the net.
All right, Taylor, you're the last of the second round.
Okay, next up for me is going to be it's a summertime toy. It's perfect for those hot, humid days when you want to just play outside with your friends or prank your friends. It's a super soaker.
Oh, good
Great.
one. I thought you were going to say
That's good.
slip and slide.
That's
which,
good, too.
Which
Oh,
also
damn, that's
is
a
awesome.
really good one, too.
Super soaker's good.
All right, Taylor, you also have the first of the third round. So you have your third pick ready? And your last pick.
Matt Bush.
My last pick,
Better than where the Padres took him.
this has gone in and out of
Verlander
style
went, too.
for, I don't know, probably 40, 50 years, I think. But it was back in style when I was a kid.
Calculator.
And a lot of kids had them. Yo-yo.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Classic.
Go with the fireball yo-yo.
That's a
Classic.
good pick.
Got to get the Duncan too, right? Like that was.
Those
the
are
brand
kind of,
name.
yeah, you can't do as many tricks with the Duncan. But
Aren't they all kind of the same? Why could you not do tricks
I
with the
don't know.
Duncan? Now I'm curious.
Duncan's kind of a piece of crap, honestly.
Yeah, it's just
Oh.
the brand.
Yeah.
The brand.
I learned that's my thing.
You
That's
need
the
a
thing I learned today.
Yomega is a good brand.
That and Tamagotchis. Did
Yeah.
I say that right?
Yes,
There you
Tamagotchi. Yeah, Taylor, you got a fire list already.
Yeah, it's
All right,
great.
Al?
All right, I'm going to cross off all the ones that I didn't. So Nerf Blaster, that's a good one. That one's out. I wanted to put it on there, but I can't. Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior. I had those dolls.
Oh, yeah, those
Bro,
are fun.
I'd wrestle on my parents' bed for 7
Please.
hours.
Action figures,
Yeah.
not dolls.
With
Yeah.
your dolls, Lee?
No.
Action figures.
You
Are you not
wrestle with your
listening?
dolls?
So action figure, I'm just imagining is something that sits. You can't do anything. This guy, I was taking just off the top rope and throwing him
Is
down.
that those old things that used to hit each other, like the bop 'em, sock 'em?
That's Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
that's what it was.
Also,
Okay.
also awesome.
But that is not making my list. My final pick. Do you guys remember those? I think it's called Magic Mitt, and basically it's the Velcro. Do you know what I'm talking about? You put on that
Oh, it's
thing.
like a circle.
It's
and
a
you
mitt.
Oh,
a tennis
yeah.
ball with
It's
it.
a mitt, exactly.
Yeah.
We used to play that thing like we were freaking, and all it was, it just the Velcro tennis ball, whatever it is, would stick to the mitt. Played that all day long. That's my third pick.
All right, so my third pick was also something that got banned in schools because people played it too much at my schools. And I don't know if you guys know this about me. You probably do. Is I have to have something in my hands a lot of times. I like click my pen a lot. I'm like very much stuff with my hands. So this was really helpful for me when I was in school. And
Fidget spinner.
It's not a fidget spinner. It's a little too young for me. It is a tech deck. Do you guys know what a tech deck
I
is?
do. My
Yeah,
kids
so
had tech decks.
Yeah, it's the skateboard with your fingers, and you can go and do stuff. I was honestly never really I've never into skateboarding, never into that, but like tech deck was super fun. Your friends could like learn different.
You can put little
moves and
stickers
stuff.
on them too and stuff.
Yeah, you can
Like could
customize
decorate
it.
them.
Yeah, so tech deck is my third. All right, Travis, Mr. Relevant.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, vividly. Yeah, I had that thing. So there's been a bunch. All of these are really, really good. I want to give some of the things that didn't make the list that if we went longer, I would want all these things.
Pogs, I didn't mention either.
A slip and slide was on my list. I thought that's where you were going. Wiffle ball. Wiffle ball, bat and ball. An amazing toy, right? Hours of time playing wiffle ball along the way. A big wheel. Who didn't want that giant plastic tricycle when you're 6 years old and had that little brake on the side where you could spin around? The big wheel was
It's also
amazing.
featured in The Shining.
Yeah,
big
big
scary
wheel
way.
in The Shining for sure. I was a Star Wars kid, growing up in the 70s. The little Star Wars action figures, which are worth a fortune right now if you still have them. I had all of them, played with them, loved them nonstop. So Star Wars figures were on there. This one, you have to be about 50 or so to know this thing. So this is going to be very niche for my generation. Niche. That word always gives me trouble. It is called the Evel Knievel Stunt Cycle. And what the Evel Knievel Stunt Cycle was, so I'm going to show it to you right here. This was a toy motorcycle that was about, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 inches tall. This is it right here, right? And it came with an Evel Knievel action figure that you would place on the motorcycle, and you would place the motorcycle in this cradle. And on the side of the cradle was this crank that you would turn, and it would create energy, and then you would hit a button on the side of the thing, and Evel Knievel would take off at 100 miles an hour. You'd jump them over your house of cards or blocks or Lego villages or whatever. You'd create these
over the 110
things.
freeway.
The rub with this toy was because the crank, it's small and it sits on the ground. When you would crank the thing, you would strip your knuckles on the street because you would end up doing it outside. So as you could go, and every kid in 3rd grade in 1976
had their knuckles demolished.
Had no skin on their knuckles because they were cranking the Evel Knievel stunt cycle. It was awesome. I'm looking at it right now. You can find them online for about $60. I think it was like $9 back in the 70s.
Inflation.
Give me the Evel Knievel stunt
Remember
cycle.
those?
Very specific. Oh, yeah, Rocket Nerf. Yeah, for sure.
How random.
Yeah.
Man, so random.
Evel Knievel stunt cycle for the final pick, Em.
Yeah, well, who won, guys? Who do you guys think has the best list on here?
And here's the other thing. I guarantee there are people out there that have their own thoughts that we've left off
forgot.
some big ones for sure, so you can come on in and do that for sure. Carlo had a night last night. Almost famous Carlo. He'll explain next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Everybody, it's Cap. Listen, I want you to mark your calendars for March 16th. It's Thursday. It's the tip of the tournament, and we're all going to be at Yamava. Okay, so it's going to be Travis and Slee from 10 to 1. Mason's not going to be on vacation. Mason in Ireland, 1 to 4. Me and Shidano coming up from 4 to 7. There's all these amazing craft beers, incredible restaurants, 150 LED screen TVs. It's the 909, the greatest sports bar on the planet at Yamava. Thursday, March 16th. All day long. Mark your calendars. Be there. I'll see you at Yamava.
All right, we're reminding you that Pickleball Madness, or March Pickleball Madness, is coming up on March 18th at Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley. It's free for all non-participants, and there's a million things to do, Al.
All right, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come out, hang out. We do these events every time we do them. We love having listeners there. We got our Papa Shot Challenge. We got a beer garden going on. So we got everything going on. Don't forget that day.
Games for the kids. Bring the kids on out. It'll be a great time. You'll watch me and Al just wipe the floor with everybody because we're pickleball experts.
We'll be out in the first round.
A lot of people saying you missed this. Carlo came in and had a great Transformers.
Yeah.
Those, you know what? We left off, like, this goes back to the 60s. They still make them now. They're everywhere. Every little kid, male little kid, and lots of girls too. Hot Wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was there anybody that didn't have Hot Wheels in their life?
That's when you're most, like, there's certain toys when you could last through the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. You know what I'm saying? There's certain toys out there that it doesn't matter what year they came out. We're just obviously trying to find stuff that we grew up with, but Transformers is a good one.
Barbie, honestly, like, is lasted all this time.
Yeah.
And she's evolved.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like, as in, like, they had
Her
different kinds of
personality is
Barbies. Like, they're, you know, not just, like, the beauty Barbie, but, like, she has a job and she does all this stuff. She has a house. Like, you know, it's evolved.
I knew she had a house. She had the dream house.
Yes.
The Malibu Barbie dream
and
house.
she has the house with a single income, you know?
Well, she's a successful, you know, aspirational woman.
Yeah, she doesn't need a Ken, but she likes having a Ken.
Is Ken still around?
Yeah, Ken's still around.
All right, Ken's still around. What's up, Carla?
So one of those toys that we were talking about, Crossfire, Blackboard. So shout out to Jason Tang in the YouTube comments. He threw out Crossfire, and that
I don't know that one. What is it?
Crossfire was this blackboard with two red guns.
Does that look
on
familiar
both
at all,
sides.
or no?
I don't.
It had a blue little marker in the middle, and you
Yeah.
kept on shooting these little ball bearings to push it all the way.
Sounds fun.
It was a whole lot of fun. I am shocked. Sliwa just
$100
pulled it up on Amazon. It's $102.
Well, you said your what's it called? Was
Evil Knievel stunt cycle. It's not a what you would call it. It's an Evil Knievel
Show
stunt
some
cycle.
respect.
Please.
Did you ever watch Toy Story? I think it was 4, right?
He was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves.
It's awesome. And they crank him up and he goes flying across the room. It's terrific.
That was an awesome toy.
You were a Transformer guy? That was at the top of your list?
Robots in disguise.
You should have spent more time shooting baskets, Carlo.
Oh, man.
Because you went to the South Bay Lakers last night?
I was invited by my wedding MC, who's now the game host for the
Okay.
South Bay
Okay.
Lakers. Shout out to Ray on the mic. He'll be at ESPN LA Pickleball too. So Ray is game host. He invited me out to the game. Came out, about to take a seat. I didn't even get to my seat yet, and I'm walking there with my wife, and he looks at me and says, just subtly, half court shot, right? I'm like, wait, what? You're kidding? Half court shot? I said, all right, fine, YOLO. Let's go ahead and take the half court shot. So, come third quarter, my palms are sweating.
I was going to say, so now you're not watching the game where you're just kicking back and relaxing. You're thinking about this first quarter, thinking about the second quarter. You're just nervous as it's leading up to it.
So the first game in the first quarter, the
Yeah.
first piece of entertainment, they had this guy put on some basically beer goggles to take a free throw, and he had to make one shot.
How many tries?
He had 30
seconds.
Okay.
30
I think they
seconds,
do
yeah.
the same at
thing
the
they do
yeah.
at the Lakers game. So he went to take the free throw with beer goggles. I felt less nervous because he basically had no chance. He couldn't see
Yeah,
the free throw. He couldn't see the free throw line. Couldn't see the basket. So I thought, okay.
How many people were at the game?
I would say about 150.
Okay.
By the way, South Bay Lakers game, if you have not gone to a game yet, it's an awesome
It's
experience.
awesome, and you're at the Lakers training facility, so it's like you get a chance to be at the Lakers training facility, which is where they got all the trophies, Genie's office, Palenka's. That part's really cool.
You look up, it's the Lakers championship banners. You see the retired numbers. They just added Powell's retired number.
Oh,
on
that's
there,
great.
So I felt it was our first chance to get to see it. So then comes the third quarter. I'm getting nervous. Oh, by the way, Alan, you mentioned like I'm not even watching the game. We ordered food before the game.
Couldn't
I
eat
did
it.
not
Yeah, I
touch
couldn't
the
eat it.
food, and it was cold by the time it was the third quarter.
You know what my next question is.
Wings and fries.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, some crispy wings too. They
okay.
bring a food truck experience over there. So every
Oh,
game
yeah, that's right.
It's nice and unique. So I get called over about 5 minutes before I actually have to do it. I'm over at the corner. I start doing some push-ups.
Sure.
Start warming up. I'm getting nervous. I'm just excited. Adrenaline.
For people that don't know, Carlo's in very, very good shape. Like, Carlo takes good care of himself, so that you are warming up is not a huge surprise.
Everything we do on social media, here's the leader of the crew here, so he's let's just say he's in good shape.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because yesterday morning I skipped my workout, and I think that's the biggest.
It's the
factor.
gods, Carlo. I'm telling you.
Trav,
they
this is what
exist.
we ask. Are you a basketball player or are you an athlete? We needed more long Okay, go ahead. Keep telling it. Keep telling it.
definitely the basketball gods had their hand in the shot because I step in the free throw line. Again, I'm just not even thinking. The adrenaline's kicking in. I step at the half court line. I decided to have some fun. I actually first have my back face towards the basket. I'm actually not sure which basket I'm shooting
that you're shooting on.
So I start faking like I'm about to take a over the head, no look basket, and they're like, "Whoa, no!" I'm like, all right, okay, let's do the real thing. So I don't hesitate. I get the ball. I'm running up to the line. I let the ball loose, and I'm thinking, "Oh my god!"
It left your hand. You thought you had a shot.
It felt so good, and it looks in line. And I think it's the basketball gods who picked up the ball just a little bit more, where the trajectory was so high, came about 3 feet short.
Okay, online but short.
Straight online.
Usually, by the way, if you're going to make it, you got to go too much arc. You can't. When most people have that laser, you got no shot of going.
Here's the thing. Long, it's obviously short. It could hit the front of the rim. It's going to miss everything.
Yeah.
Long, it could hit the back of the rim and go in. It could bank in.
Mm-hmm.
It could go right in. Long is better. So you missed the half quarter. Now what?
So you get a second shot. You get a second shot at the three-point line. I think a lot of Laker fans have seen this at Laker games. So I'm thinking, all right, I'll just shake it out a little bit, take my three-pointer, get the ball, spin the ball, nice shot. I have a pretty good stroke. It came off the fingers. I'm thinking, all right, here we go. It's going in. Halfway through the bucket and pops out off the back,
in and out,
the heel of the rim.
Did you have you posted it yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
You got to post it because when you showed it to me, when you took the 3-point shot, it left your hand. I'm like, oh no, that's going in. Like, you can just kind of tell when it's going in. It's halfway down the cylinder. It's not like rattling. It's in. And then it comes out as a heartbreaker.
I was ready to ask Game Ops if do I get half a prize because it was halfway through.
So what is the prize? If because the Lakers it increases for every miss.
It's an MGM. It's an MGM sponsorship, and I think
is it 1,000?
No. The people that won so far 75,000. It's something like that. With the number, I think it starts off as 25 grand, and it goes up $5,000 every.
What was the
game.
prize? Had you knocked that down?
So when Ray first mentioned to me that I was doing the half-court shot, I was thinking, oh, of course, I'm going to win the $20,000 that the Lakers give. Oh, it's actually a $200 gift card to the team store.
Hey, you got a nice jersey.
I thought I could have got at least $100 for getting it halfway in there.
Yeah, it's half the distance. You should get because you should get $125.
Exactly.
Makes sense to me.
Carlos negotiating with the Game Ops people. Like, what are you doing? You're just supposed to take the shot.
Why not? Why not?
But one thing I would add, though, was I was so confident I was going to make it that I was thinking about how I was going to celebrate already.
Well, that's the basketball.
No chance. The gods. If you're the only thing is, well, this will be fun. Go out there. I'm just going to make sure I get it there.
Yeah.
The gods maybe. I'm going to give him a shot. But the second you're like, I wonder what jersey I'll get. You're thinking, not a chance.
The gods were saying, go eat your wings.
No, yeah. Did
go
you
get your
the
wings
when
and
you went
fries.
back to your seat?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
They were cold.
Otherwise, I might have to
wings
drive
are
down
good
to El
wings.
Segundo and pick them up. Figure that they're still sitting somewhere in the stadium. Like, I'm not going to let them just sit there and go uneaten.
I don't think you heard any part of the story other than, so what, the wings and the fries, what's the situation there?
Sit there. I got a one-track mind. Thanks, Carlo.
Thank you, guys.
That's so good. ESPN, we are taking over Yamava Resort and Casino's latest amenity. That, of course, is the 909 Sports Bar for a tournament tip-off watch party. We'll be broadcasting live all day long, starting at 10 to 7 on Thursday, March 16th. That's a week from today. Come press the flesh with all of us. And by all of us, I mean me and Al, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Cap. We're all going to be out there all day long. Wall-to-wall LEDs, 150-plus screens, 32 craft beers. It is the perfect place to watch all of your college basketball action. Plus, we're going to be giving away prizes. Carlo, you're ineligible. Autographed memorabilia. You need to be 21. Please gamble responsibly.
Would you want to take that shot?
I've done it at UCSB.
Okay.
I did. I done it, and not even close. Way offline. Long enough, but way offline.
Yeah, it's funny because for all those, I always hear Michael and John try to predict, right? They're just like, what do you think, going in or not? And every one of them, we have the worst angle because we're not behind the basket.
Yeah.
So it could look good. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's going to go. It's 17 feet to the left. That'd be fun. That'd be fun to take a half-court shot.
Some classic toys that have gotten mentioned on my Twitter feed at Travis Rogers, Alan Sliwa. Viewmaster, which was that little disc that you put in and flip through and see all the pictures. Like there'd be a Disney one, there'd be a Star Wars one, there'd be a National Parks one, or whatever you got there. That was a
for like 1 minute, and I'm like going back to Super Nintendo.
Flip. Done. Got another one? Nope. Done with the Viewmaster. Into the toy box. Never comes out again. But everybody knows it. G.I. Joe's. Classic.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody had a G.I. Joe.
Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yeah. Little after my time, but I certainly remember them being popular. Slinky. Right?
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Simple toy, but a beautiful toy.
Slinky was you could put it on the stairs, right?
Yeah, and it would walk itself down. You know what is lame about a Slinky now? I'm sure they went back the other way. They started making them out of plastic, which sucked because it would break. And the second you got a little kink in your metal Slinky, just a little bend, really doesn't work very well anymore.
Yeah, the reason why they went plastic, Wall Street, where it was in the stock exchange.
The Slinky on the two hands is my favorite part, where you see like it go back and forth between your two hands. That was my favorite part.
It's like the fidget spinner before the fidget spinner.
Yeah, you just need to have something to do with your hands.
It makes a very soothing sound.
Pretty funny.
Very, very good. The Dump coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
Everybody, it's Cap. Listen, I want you to mark your calendars for March 16th. It's Thursday. It's the tip of the tournament, and we're all going to be at Yamava. Okay, so it's going to be Travis and Slee from 10 to 1. Mason's not going to be on vacation. Mason in Ireland, 1 to 4. Me and Shidano coming up from 4 to 7. There's all these amazing craft beers, incredible restaurants, 150 LED screen TVs. It's the 909, the greatest sports bar on the planet at Yamava. Thursday, March 16th, all day long. Mark your calendars. Be there. I'll see you at Yamava.
It's time for the dump.
So Jordan Rodrigue, who covers the Rams for The Athletic, had a couple of tweets along the way that the Matthew Stafford stuff got a little traction along the way. Here's a quote from Les Snead. "We're going to definitely rely on Matthew. He's definitely one of our pillars." He went on to say he's definitely someone we're going to rely on as we remodel this. He says that they're remodeling because they aren't, quote, bulldozing the house.
Definitely.
So there's a little bit of direction that you and I were talking about earlier. Trying to get, are they bulldozing the house? Or are they just putting a new coat of paint on this? There's a huge difference between those two things.
Do you have to go through the city?
Exactly.
You need permits.
But this, he's saying he's a load-bearing wall, that he's a weight-bearing wall, whatever it is. What I'm not hearing is there is no way that he's not on this team next year. That's the part I'm not hearing. We're not bulldozing it, but we're remodeling. Like, remodeling can mean a lot of different things.
Yeah, I don't know if it's so easy to just make assumptions, but I'm just gonna. Does he have to come out right out the gate and do that? Because first off, it's on Pat McAfee's show. Everybody listens to that. It's a source that's very credible, right? The guaranteed money is a reality of the situation with Stafford. It didn't take very long to come out with something. And I don't know if that was, and I don't know if today was just planned, hey, you're going to get in front of the media, but that didn't take very long to quickly, no, make sure let's have something to try to fight what that is against. I don't know if that means something. I don't know if it doesn't, but he was very quick to respond there.
Sean McVay, by NFL head coaching standards, is pretty honest. Like, if you listen to what he says, you can kind of intuit what it is that they're going to do. I think Les Snead falls into that category as well. But this, I think, is one of those times where I'm just going to wait to see what happens as opposed to what anybody's saying. Because do you go active in the free agent market, which starts in a couple of days here? Are you super aggressive in the draft to move up, or are you willing to move back and take additional later picks for the second round pick? I think the Rams pick like 37th or 8th, something like that, along the way. I'm going to wait to see what they do. You can tell me whatever you want. I'm going to wait to see.
Well, and I don't think they're set on anything either, right? Like, I think if, let's just say hypothetically, Trav, that a team really wanted Matt Stafford and they could take that $50 million guaranteed whatever, hypothetically, right, off the books, and they didn't expect that was going to happen, I don't think anything's set. Like, I think they are still trying to, depends what other teams do. It depends if there's interest in a player that they didn't know. It depends if, wow, we could get all this for Jalen Ramsey. Well, Ramsey wasn't our top guy to get out of here, but now let's move on.
This, of course, all comes on the heels of Michael Lombardi, like you said, being on Pat McAfee, saying this about the Rams.
Oh, Matt Stafford's fully available. For Matt Stafford, they would love to trade. They can't do it because he's got $57 million guaranteed.
Hold on, though.
There's a lot of
do we know he's playing? Do we know he's playing? We're 100% sure he's playing.
Well, he says he is playing, but but Pat, his contract, he's got 26 million of an option bonus on the third day of the league year, and he's got 31 million in paragraph 5 on the third day of the league year. All of that is guaranteed.
So Michael Lombardi's making the financial argument, but I thought that McAfee asked the question that I think is the single most important question. Are we sure he's playing?
Is he healthy?
Are we sure he's playing? And he says he's playing. Okay, but I'm going to wait and see what happens next. Emily, believe it or not, I saw this. People are apparently peeling their onions on TikTok instead of chopping them. Susan showed it to me last night. And you're talking about where they use like a vegetable peeler, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Why does that bother you so much?
I guess maybe it's the video specifically. It looks so bad, and the onions are not gonna. It does it all unevenly. It's just really bad. To me, it looks bad.
So they take the paper off the onion, the part that's, and get down to the whatever fruit, vegetable. I don't know what an onion is. Root. I think an onion is a root. So, and you get down to that, and instead of like chopping it, they just take the vegetable peel, and it makes these perfectly thin slices.
No, not perfect.
Depending on what you're doing, like on a sandwich, that would be the perfect way to do it. If you're making like a sauce or something with onions, probably not the way to do it, but I was into it, Al. That you have strong opinions on this
I think I'm still confused. I'm confused what I was waiting for her to say something like it looks really weird, or how can you do it?
It does look weird.
I mean,
and I honestly, personally, I hurt myself more peeling than I do chopping, because I think it's probably just the way I hold the onion or whatever I'm peeling. I actually don't peel onions, but it'll get to I'll tear up my knuckles because I think I'm just holding it weird. Maybe it's like a bad form in the way that I peel. So this is why it upsets me.
Study your onion slicing form. Jim Boeheim retired after 47 years as the head coach of the Syracuse basketball team. He started there as a walk-on player in 1962, and he's basically been there ever since. I don't know if there's a better indicator of how college basketball and our relationship with it has changed more than Jim Boeheim retired, and it was barely a ripple. Right? Coach K retired last year, and it was a big deal. Like, it was on TV, and obviously...
Final game, North Carolina
goes
Duke,
to the final. All of these things, so it was present, and he's coached. Jim Boeheim been there 50 years, basically, and he was the biggest name in that sport for a hot minute, and it's like, oh, yeah, cool.
You're
and
right
just
about it.
Keep it
no,
moving.
You're right. I mean, I saw it yesterday on kind of like the top stories for ESPN. I looked at it for 1.4 seconds, and then I was like, cool, what time does Toronto and the Clippers play? But maybe that's just me. But I think
it's not.
I don't think it holds the weight, and a lot of that has to do with
Jim Boeheim retires for college basketball in 1999 or 2004.
Mm-hmm.
It's a totally different story.
Totally
different
only Syracuse story I have. I told you when San Diego State played on the
aircraft
on the ship on the. Why am I forgetting the name
the
of
Midway?
that? The Midway. Jesus.
What else you want
You're
to
a
know?
San Diegan, okay? Played on the Midway. It was against Syracuse.
Details matter to me, Steve.
Played against Syracuse on the Midway, where every jumper they took, Boeheim was like, yeah, we're going to stop taking jumpers. San Diego State's like, we're going to keep shooting threes. Guys, there's 40-mile-per-hour gusts coming. Follow what Boeheim's doing.
That's great. A couple of big movies came out on this day. House Party, the original, came out in 1990. They did a remake kind of with the party set in LeBron James's house, right?
They did.
Did
Recently.
you see that?
I didn't see it.
It's on HBO
You
Max
guys see
right
the
now.
new House Party that was...
I never saw the first House Party.
Really?
I know it's Kid and Play.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah, I saw it at USC's theaters.
Did you see the new one?
I have not seen the new one.
Once upon a time owned by one Steve Mason, those USC theaters.
Yeah, I know.
Good business.
University Village 3. And then he ruined them or something. I don't know what happened.
Also, classic horror movie came out on this day in 1984, Children of the Corn.
Oh,
came
they
out.
just remade that.
Eyes, right? The glowing eyes. With
They
those
just
kids.
remade that one.
You a horror movie guy, Andy?
Not really. It's never been my genre.
John, if you go musicals and horror,
Yeah, I know. I like all the original Halloweens. I thought Get Out was one of the most underrated movies of all time.
Get Out is, I mean, I don't know if it's underrated, but it definitely is
I
fantastic.
don't think most people have seen it.
It was
really
a big
don't.
hit.
Yeah, well, it
nominated
was
for an Oscar.
It was nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? I just thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, it's great.
It's fantastic.
I don't think it's under the radar. Though.
Scariest movie ever for you, Trav, is what?
Honestly, it's going to be a weird answer, but it still kind of gives me the willies. The Wizard of Oz.
You know what? You're not alone.
Yeah, the Wizard of Oz.
What's scary about it?
The Witch was when I saw it when I was, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old. That messed me up. That green witch really, and those flying blue.
Well, mine's a little off the beaten path too.
The
You know
flying blue monkeys in the
Dun,
Wizard
dun, dun,
where they
dun,
tear the scarecrow to pieces. That really messed me up.
I saw recently this clip of Mr. Rogers. He had the woman who played the Wicked Witch come on.
I'm melting.
Like basically, like get into the. It was either get into the costume or get out of the costume, so little kids could understand she's an actress playing a witch. Because so many kids got upset by it.
What about you?
Mine is Jaws.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was at a certain age, I was a beach kid, and the next day, me and all my friends went and swam out to the buoy so we wouldn't be scared of the ocean.
Wow.
So my Uncle Keith took me to Jaws, he's about 8 or 9 years older than I was. I was like 7.
Yeah.
And it terrified me. I don't think I've been in the ocean since. I've got no interest. Those things are real, they're out there, and they like to eat. What about you, Slee?
Poltergeist was
scary.
Awful. Stephen King's It.
Yeah,
that one was also a very scary one. Both
Andy?
of those.
You know, it's funny. I don't tend to get scared by movies, even ones that, like, I'll feel the tension, but I don't really get scared. The only time I remember actually getting, like, legitimately terrified at a movie, I was like 7 or 8, and I got taken to see the original Star Trek, the motion picture. When it came out when I was like 7 or 8,
yeah.
I thought it was going to be like Star Wars. Not the same thing. I got totally bored in it, fell asleep, and I woke up, and there's this character,
Klingons?
this woman who has this shaved head, like a bald shaved head, for some reason freaked the living crap out of me. I started screaming and crying, and my parents had to take me out of the theater.
Right.
So Star Trek, the motion
played the
picture.
Super Stager yet?
Not yet. Would you like to play it,
Yeah,
John?
go ahead and play it, and then I have a question about this car chase that's on Channel 7 right now.
Let's do a little Super Crosstalk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles.
KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins. Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Woo! So I was wondering, you and I are sitting next to each other if you're just listening on the radio, and you keep looking over my head. I'm like, what is he looking at?
Oh, look! Oh, they're taking him out. They're taking him out now. Okay.
Now you got to go.
All right.
Yeah, now you got to get back.
Okay, so he's stuck. He can't get out.
Oh,
They gave him a hole. He cut through there like Barry
defense.
Sanders.
That's bad defense.
Oh, now he took out another cop car. Now he's jumping the road.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought he violated the number one tenet of a car chase. He stopped at a red light, which you can't do.
Very respectful for that stoplight.
So the cops surrounded him with like 8 police cars. He just rammed 3 of them and took off.
Hey, rope-a-doped him.
Yeah, and now he's going back the other way.
When he did the U-turn, why did they not have that sealed off? That seemed like very bad planning.
You know what's coming now? I'm somewhat of a car chase expert, as you guys know. It's
Spike strip?
Yeah, they need the spike strip. Like because I worked at KCAL. KCAL does news. I was there for 25 years. They do news, like more news than anybody in town. Like they do news in the morning, midday, afternoon, evening, early evening, whatever. So the unofficial rule at KCAL was ratings gold is a car chase. So it could be like the Lakers could win the title, and if there's a car chase, they're like, John, you're stand by, you're on hold. we have a live car. Now he's stopping. This guy stopped again at a light. And by the way, he has tree stumps in the back
of
the pickup
Ford F-150, whatever he's got there.
So what is he running for? Did he steal the truck? I always wonder this. And now he's stopped at a red light, which is terrible strategy.
Well, he's not an animal, John.
Doesn't want to affect his driving record.
I mean, that's points on your record.
No.
Now
He's being chased by literally 5 police SUVs, and he's going the speed limit.
But they can't cite him for running a red.
Yeah, if you don't run a red, you don't have to go to traffic school.
He's rammed 3 of the cars. I mean, what?
His speed is not outrageous
Right.
either.
No,
He's in the
25.
20s and low 30s.
Yeah.
He's doing a good job.
He was, by the way, Barry Sanders to get away and do what he did.
All right, am I missing something that says LASD pursuit?
Sheriff's Department.
Is the Sheriff Department different than the Police Department?
Yes.
In what sense?
It's in the county, not the city.
All right, they're taking him out again.
Wow.
360 spin.
Well,
now
we'll see.
Let's see. Oh, now
There he
he's
goes
going.
again.
Oh, he's jumping
boxing
again.
over. He's gotta be
They
done.
got him. He's going
gotta
over.
be
He's
done.
going over the divider, and he's still alive.
And he's cutting back on. Oh, he's going.
Oh,
against
wow.
traffic.
Oh no! Now
wow.
He's literally driving down.
This
the
is
middle
a
of the median.
fantastic car chase. I just want to say that right now.
That's a good move.
I probably shouldn't encourage it because it's very dangerous.
What's the end game?
But this is it. No one has ever outrun a radio. I've watched 100 car chases.
Or a helicopter, for that matter.
Yeah,
right?
this guy will get caught.
Can I give you my theory on how I would try if I ever felt like I needed? And Andy, you and I have had this conversation.
Don't say that you'll go on foot because that's the end. If you ever leave the car and go on foot,
the
they
foot
always
involves
catch
the dog, right? And I'm trying to keep the dog out of it if at all possible.
Right.
You need
Unless
to
you
get
have treats.
Well, by the way, once again, stopped at a stop sign.
He's got a balloon.
Very
He
respectful.
looks like he has a balloon in the front seat.
Well, Andy might be going to Disneyland. You never know.
You need to get to like a mall structure parking lot.
Oh, that's good.
To where you get into the mall, you leave, and you race into the mall.
Have you ever seen the movie Drive?
Yes.
The movie Drive opens with a scene like that where Ryan Gosling's character takes these guys who had just done a break-in, and they've got a police scanner, so they're following all the chatter, and they eventually end up getting into what was the Staples Center parking lot for a Clipper game, zooms in, gets out of the car, and immediately walks out.
He was that desperate to not go to a Clipper game?
Well, it ended. It actually ended.
There was no traffic.
Think of a mall,
right?
The structure where the parking lot walks right into the mall. Pull in, run in. You're facing the crowd at that point. There's a pretty good chance they don't know what this dude looks like.
Trav, there's a dog. They got the dog involved.
The dog is terrifying.
The dog is involved. And now the guy saw the dog. He said, I ain't having this. And he stepped on the gas.
You gotta go.
No.
That's why you always got to have just a bag of treats for dogs and see if you can negotiate with that canine.
Well, you know where you learn that? Fletch. Remember Fletch goes to take pictures of the license and he brings a couple of steaks for the dogs? Yeah, it's great. So earlier in the show, you guys were talking. I don't know why this came up. You can tell me. Why did Billy Ashley come up on the show?
We were talking about draft bus. We
Okay.
were talking about guys where you had like the hope of, hey, we're going to get this guy and he's going to change things for us. And Billy Ashley's the first guy that kind of popped into
All
my
right,
mind.
so here's
Okay,
I have a good
just-
Billy Ashley story.
Just to play off of that.
Yeah.
Comparing the Dodgers and the Padres lineup, right? And when it came to individual players, you said it could be this guy or he could be
Billy Ashley. They were talking about Outman, and I said
Mhm.
he could turn out to be a Rookie of the Year, or he could turn into
Well, there
Billy
were two.
Ashley.
There was an equal to Billy Ashley. Remember who it was?
Same era?
Same era, same disappointment, same
Dodger?
unbelievable minor league credentials.
Dodger?
Yeah. Maybe even bigger than Billy Ashley.
Dodger?
Yes. When I say the name, you'll go, I can't believe I forgot about that guy.
Darren Dreifert.
Greg Brock.
Oh, sure. He replaced
the
Steve
first
Garvey.
baseman.
Yeah.
Who was going to replace
Number
Garvey.
9,
Yeah.
replaced Garvey.
And they just, Brock was the guy, and my guy, Eric Karros, just stepped right into the void and won Rookie of the Year.
My guy, one of my buddies, Greg Fisher, still to this day hates Greg Brock because he's the reason that Garvey went to the Padres.
Okay, so here's my Billy Ashley story. I'm at spring training, and I know Karros a little bit. He's a Manhattan Beach guy. And you know, back from when I covered him, I always got along with him. So I'm standing behind the cage, and it's Lasorda throwing batting practice to Todd Hollinsworth, Eric Karros, and Billy Ashley. And they're rotating in. 10 swings, 10 swings, 10 swings. And Lasorda is trying to throw him breaking balls because Ashley can't hit breaking balls. That was his demise.
Or anything else.
Like Pedro Serrano.
And Ashley, Lasorda's throwing these curveballs, and Ashley is just flailing. And Lasorda says to him, Jesus, Billy, I'm not out here for my health. Hit the damn ball. And Ashley says, I'm trying, Skip. And Karros looks at me and he goes, oh, God. I go, what? He goes, watch this. And like Karros knew exactly what was coming. Lasorda goes, trying? I can get anybody to try. I can get that guy up in the stands. Go ahead, try. I can get Ireland to try. He'll try. He'll strike out. But and Ashley like puts his head down like, oh God, what have I done? Try. I could get the golf cart guy to try. I could get that woman over there to try. I could get that 5-year-old to try. And Karros looks at me and goes, we're going to be here a while. And he just so. I mean, that was code for you never say you're just trying.
No.
And so after Lasorda airs out his rant, Ashley gets back in there and he just goes, sit down, Billy, you don't have it today. And so like 2 weeks later, I go back, same scenario, different guys hitting.
No.
But Lasorda's out on the mound and some guy in the stands at Vero, and you know, at Vero it's very casual. There's maybe 20 people around. And some guy in the stands is out there sitting there with his family, older guy, the guy in his 50s, kind of heavy-set guy. And Lasorda is bouncing curveballs in front of these guys. He's not getting the ball over the plate. He can't. And the guy yells from the stands, hey, Tommy, why don't you give him something they can hit? And Tommy looks up, makes eye contact with the guy, and he goes, you want to give it a shot? He goes, pitch? He goes, no, hit. You want to get up there, try and hit a couple?
Awesome.
And the guy goes, really? Tommy goes, yeah, grab a bat, grab a helmet. And his wife's there. She gets the camera out. He's got his kids there, and he comes down. He gets in the cage, and sort of winds back and drills him right in the wallet. Hits him right in the butt. He goes, now sit the F down and shut up.
I knew that ended with Tommy throwing at somebody. I didn't
John,
know
your
where
guy
he was
is
going to hit
trapped.
him, but he was gonna throw at somebody.
Oh, you think he's trapped, Slee.
Is the dog still
Don't
there?
get out.
He may be trapped. There's nowhere for him to
nowhere
drive.
to go.
Like it actually, it's.
Is that a fence?
It's both a fence, but it's a bridge or something.
Are we sure those are tree stumps?
If he drives through that, there's at least a 10-foot drop.
What don't
reservoir.
they look like tree stumps?
Yeah,
Travis?
that's the word I was thinking of, Alan. It's a reservoir.
But
he may be. This may be the end.
The dog is the end. The second the dog is involved,
Well, he's
I'm
staying.
out of here.
All right, he's staying in the car. There's a little.
There's
dog.
a little dog.
Not that dog.
That's a stray.
There's a little dog.
Sleep. Why
that
can't
wants
he? Why can't he
nothing.
turn left and follow the dog?
Maybe that dog is going to help
The dog
him here.
is trying to help him out.
The cameraman in the helicopter is now falling.
Oh,
wow.
That's why.
That's why.
Wow.
Yeah. There's two cops pointing guns
Yep.
at him right by the dog.
That dog's just looking for a
can't-
treat.
He
That's
can't
it.
go right.
He's not going to run because they'll shoot him or the dog will get him.
Yeah, if he goes left, they might shoot him.
Can't you
He
just
can't
put your
back up.
hands out
He
the
has-
window and just say, I'm done?
No, he has maybe 10 guys pointing guns at him right now.
He's doing the math in his head of, do I want to end this right here or go to jail?
John, you still have one of the best ideas that I'm surprised that you have not kind of...
I don't have the money.
I'm surprised you still work here. Let's put it that way.
So here's my idea. I've pitched it 3-4 times a year ever since I've worked here. And when Mason got money, I honestly, off the air, begged him, because Mason's got a lot of disposable income right now. I said, you need to sponsor the CCC, the Car Chase channel. Here's my idea. You turn on now think about all the dumb channels. Like I have DirecTV. There's like 1,000 channels. Like Animal Planet, and there's like right-wing wacko channel and left-wing wacko channel, and they've got a Scientology channel. They got everything. I mean, this would work. So one of those channels, CCC is our thing. Instead of NBC, we're CCC. It's nothing but car chases 24/7. If there is a car chase going on anywhere in the world, we go live to it. If there's not, we run old car chases.
Top 10 car chases.
Yeah.
You can do...
Like, if you watch the Lakers...
Be like those Spectrum specials that I pop up on.
Exactly.
An officer would be on there talking about that car chase.
They brought the dog out. Had he gone left instead of right...
Like this car chase, because it's getting really good, now they've got him surrounded. They got like 15 cops pointing guns at him. This one we could run... several times a day. Like we could run this 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. But I don't think people would stop watching. Every bit of rating info I have is people do not turn off a car chase.
Mm-hmm.
So
do you have data on old car chases?
Well, you have not seen every car chase that's ever happened.
Fair.
They by the way, there's no expiration date for any of them.
And by the way, all the anchors that would be tossing to it would be alumnuses of Baywatch. Men and women. They'll just basically be the best-looking people in the history of the world throwing to car chases at the car chase
So if
channel.
this doesn't end in the next 2 minutes, is this the opening of Mason and Ireland for today?
Well, either that or I can turn off. Slee's San Diego State Aztecs are in a hard-fought battle. Boy, Slee, lots of offense in this game. They're already
nobody scores. San Diego State
in the second half, and it's 29-27.
56 points total in the second half.
All right, so
cool sport.
Now this guy is just sitting in the cab, and he's going to make them make the first move, which I think is smart, because if he gets out of that car, it's over.
He's negotiating.
Yeah, well, he's not.
What if just like a DoorDash guy pulls up? Hey, did you order?
I'm
here for your order.
How great would that be? You order a pizza? Right, he's leaning out the window, and he's talking to him, but he won't get out of the car.
But they'll wait there all day. They've got more patience than he does.
Yeah, so this is...
No, he's done. Where can you go from here?
Yeah, well, no one has ever outraced a radio. I mean, that's the funny thing. Guys that think they can win a car chase...
Get to the parking lot.
You know what?
You.
I don't think they can win. It's just a matter of staving off the loss. You just don't feel like losing at that moment.
You won.
All right. The windows
you didn't win.
Well, I mean, I know you've told this story before, but
I managed to get let off, but I certainly didn't win.
Did you go to jail?
No.
No.
Sounds like a winner to me.
It's a win.
Oh, right? No.
What did he throw out the window? He just threw something out the window. Did he have a weapon and they told him to throw it out the window?
I don't know. It's hard to know what he threw out.
Maybe a phone.
He threw out. It looks. Yeah. It's hard to say. All right. Oh, now we get the helicopter. All right. No, this is.
I've had the helicopter the whole time.
No, but that was a police helicopter that just flew by. So they got this guy. That's right. The Channel 7 helicopter is way up in the sky, but the police helicopter is like right down on top of him.
John's idea would work.
What do you mean? What are you rolling your eyes at?
I don't think it would
car
work.
Chase channel not work? Have you seen the crap that's put on TV these days?
Yeah, but how many? I mean, there's Live Golf. Nobody watches that. There's all sorts of stuff that people don't watch.
You would watch Ian Poulter in a car chase. Let's combine Live Golf and the car chase.
We're getting warmer. We're getting warmer. Now you have my attention.
It's the best of car chases.
Yeah, you're a bigger Baywatch fan than I am.
Golf.
Car chases are good for at this point. I'm out.
All right, you say I'm a bigger Baywatch fan than you. Do you have a Samsung TV in your house?
You've talked to me about this.
You do not?
I do, and I do have the channel.
Okay, so I'm telling you, when you turn it on, tell me how long you hang in before you turn it off.
There's. If I need that, there are other better places to get that.
Well, no. See, in my house, the TV's always on, like, in the background. So normally it's on ESPN. But on days when ESPN's showing like log rolling contests, I'll flip on the Baywatch channel. And if I had a car chase channel, I would watch that instead.
Do you want to anchor or just CEO this thing?
Oh, CEO. I have no business. Are you kidding? Have you seen me? I can't wear one of those red bathing suits.
Well, you're the president of the company, the CEO. You can wear whatever you want. You seem awfully enthusiastic about this stuff.
I'm not going to put myself into the middle of all this. Come on.
All right, little breaking news for the Lakers. According to Dave McMenamin, Darvin Ham says the team expects to have D'Angelo Russell back tomorrow and starting, that Dennis Schroeder will be coming off the bench. You guys can get into that, as well as the car chase. Super Crosstalk is powered by In-N-Out Burger. That's what a hamburger is all about. We'll see you tomorrow.
Join us